Here we go.
Welcome, misfits, to this episode of Midnight Ranting, where we talk about the age of the universe and have a discussion on the age-old battle between science versus religion. So won't you join us for some modern debate-style fun?
Join us for someone who thinks she's related to a tomato and a mosquito and a whale.
At the same time? Oh my God.
Yeah. I don't know.
Woohoo!
Woo!
I want to thank everyone out there on the inner tubes. If you're feeling fancy, don't forget to like, subscribe, or follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. We're a skeptic channel, but after our openings, we'll be opening up the floodgates for the open mic portion of the podcast, meaning anyone can join us and say what's on their mind. We'll also give everyone the chance to have their own opening and closing statements. Atheist or theist, liberal or conservative, come as you are, just not on the sheets. You can also find our Patreon at patreon.com/Amy Newman to help us support more awesome content, including awesome Patreons like KO Champ and Oz from the Atheist Roundtable, but also Ian Davenport. I need to get my blushy. But also Grumpy Old Cuss, and Diana Smith. And lastly, don't forget to like and subscribe so you could be part of our... Hold on one second. And Pat. I am not going to miss Pat. I was like, there was something in the back of my mind. Okay. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. And with that...
Do it to me. Do it.
And actually, I'm going to switch over to you. I'm going to hand it over to James and then me, and then we're going to open over the floodgates. So, James, we are Midnight Ranting on the age of the universe. The floor is yours.
Well, hey everybody. So I hope everybody got to watch the debate tonight. It was a good debate. I really liked it. What were the thoughts? What was the dynamic of this debate? So Avi started off, and he really only had one premise, one line of evidence that he went with, which was the problem of starlight, the size of the universe. And that was really good because he took actually went with the burden of proof in this, where it's usually Kent with the one making claims and whatnot. But he made the claim. He was the one who presented his evidence, and he let Kent try feebly to try to debunk it or come up with something else. And, well, we all saw how that went. And that took away Kent's ability to gish gallop. So normally when he's presenting his evidence for age of the earth, he'll present so many fallacious claims that it's very hard for anybody to, because he's been doing his shtick for 30 years. He could just rattle these claims off machine gun speed, but you actually have to take each one of them and break it down and show why it's fallacious. But he really couldn't do that today because it was just one question, the starlight problem, and he tried his the things that he's always said for that before. Well, maybe God stretched out the heavens. That's what the Bible says, right? So maybe God just arbitrarily decided to speed up the speed of light and slow it down. Maybe. There's no evidence to support that assertion. And then, well, maybe God made the universe to appear old. So Adam, he could walk, talk, get married, have kids, name all the animals on day one. He didn't have to learn how to talk. He didn't have to potty train himself. He was a full made creation. So God could have done that with the stars. So if you've got a star that's, say, 50,000 light years away, God made the star where it is, but he also made all those photons for the whole chain of the 50,000 years so that on day one you could look up and see that star. Now, the problem with that is, which what he pointed out, and I don't think Kent really responded to, was okay, let's say God did that. So let's say day two, the star goes supernova. Or it would normally take a lot longer than that unless God made a star that was on the cusp of going, but whatever. Let's say God did that. It would still take 50,000 years for that supernova to reach Earth. So if we have a star that's 50,000, 100,000 light years away, then if that star goes supernova, Kent's argument completely fails because it would still take 50 or 100,000 years for us to have any evidence of that supernova unless God is just arbitrarily playing with the laws of physics and playing with reality just to confuse the hell out of us, which is a possibility knowing this God. We have been going through the Bible, and he really does seem to like to try to mess with people, try to gaslight people, question their own sanity and their notions of everything. But yeah, there were a few good points during this debate, and Kent's incredulity, his argument from incredulity that he doesn't understand how they can use trigonometry to calculate these distances because they're so far away and the angles are so small. And yes, Kent, that might be really hard to do with a pencil, protractor, and a compass on a sheet of paper, but we have this wonderful thing called computers that can do these amazingly complex calculations and look at these tiny, tiny differences in angles and still arrive at an answer. Just because you don't think it's possible does not mean it's not how it works. And it does work. And we know science works because look all around us. Look at everything science does seems to work. So yeah, interested to hear what everybody else thought about the debate. I thought it was I enjoyed it. What about you, Amy?
Yeah, I thought it was a great debate because I thought that Kent seemed a little off his element. So it seems like when you put professionals in front of, because, people go back and forth whether he was
a legit doctor.
He probably did teach some sort of math or English or whatever. But I mean, when
Sunday
you get
school
people
teacher
in his field, and okay, so I have a whole bunch of comments, but before we get into the comments and before
send the link.
We open up the floodgates from the wonderful modern day debate, or I just like showing off my tits. Either one. But before we get
that
to
works
that,
too.
The age of the universe. The age of the universe is 13.8 billion years old. We know this from facts like the Hubble constant, which show how our universe has been expanding outward in every direction since the Big Bang. We also know this from the cosmic microwave background image, a picture left over from the early and hot universe. What we do not have evidence for is a 6 to 10,000 year old Earth or universe. Not to get hyperbolic on anyone, but this would erase almost all of our ancestors. Humans have been around, low estimate, 100,000 years. Are we going to wipe out 90 to 94,000 years of our own family? This also avoids how stars, solar systems, or indeed the universe itself can come about in such a short time span. Are we throwing gravity out the window? Does dark energy not exist? How does a planet even form under this sort of model? A model I only see coming from religious fundamentalists.
Magic.
And it always seems like they start with the answer and work backwards. That's if there's even a model to begin with. For such miraculous claims, I and generally other skeptics are going to need a much higher level of evidence. It's not that we're closed-minded, but if a theory is going to overturn everything we know in biology, chemistry, and physics, I'm gonna need a little bit more than a book says a deity spoke it so. Thank you.
Okay, all right. But Amy, so we got this old book, okay? And we got all these dukes in the book, and we've got all these ages and years and everything. And if you work backwards from that, it only adds up to about 6,000 years. Are you saying that that's not convincing over modern science and evidence? You're not, that doesn't outweigh the evidence for you?
It's only convincing if you call it the Duke Nukem theory of the universe. Only.
Okay. I mean, we just had a Duke in England die like a month ago. Prince Philip, he was a Duke, but we had 43 Dukes in the Bible. And if you add all that up, it adds up to about 6,000 years. So, yeah.
See, it's all starting to make sense. You just got to get all those Dukes. That's where the true wisdom lies. And so I have just sent the link into the live chat. You guys
Let's bring some misfits in here.
Whether we are on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. If
maybe Doug Dawkins will come in.
Yeah.
Come on, Kent. Come on, Kent.
Come on, Kent. Might have to let my kitty out of the room in a second.
Meow.
Meow, meow.
Meow, meow.
As I
so any highlights from the debate? Anything that really stuck out in your mind?
Let's see. I can go for my first note. Kent never seen a star form.
Oh yeah, I was just thinking of that.
His things. And so, welcome, Bird. We have our first person. We're going to switch it open into the open mic format. What did you think about that, James, though, that the claim that we've never seen a star form, even though star formation, I think, is fairly well known?
He said there's not even a model for it, I believe what he said. And that's just ridiculous. Like, no, Kent, we haven't seen it go from a cloud of gas collapsing into a star in one afternoon that you can just sit and watch, but we have an overwhelming amount of evidence for how the process works. And guess what? There's a lot of stars out there. And if your explanation for that is a magical person that you have no evidence for, and on the other side, we have a scientific process that seems to make a lot more sense, I'm going to tend to go with the science on that one. I don't know about you, Amy.
Well, it always confuses me how, Kent should be in the debate circuit. We're in the debate circuit, but Kent is not trying to present his papers. It is always, one of my jokes was like, a recent article from Kent says, be careful, the Y2K bug might kill the grid.
Oh,
prepare for that.
He'll sell you a book to tell you all about how to prepare for it. Why don't you just go on his store right now? You might even have a VHS tape that now, of course, it won't play after Y2K because your VCR will blow up. But get it now and watch it before then.
It only took him, I would say, 3 seconds to hawk Dr. Dino. See, look, even I'm hawking Dr. Dino. See that, Kent? I'm working for you, baby. Come on the show.
The one thing I want to just mention quickly before we bring Bird in was I've never seen him in a debate like more speechless in this. Like we've all seen him get steamrolled, but that he was not being aggressive with him at all.
No.
I mean, he just really didn't have a lot to say a lot of the time, which he's never at a loss for words. And there were a couple times where James from Modern Day had to like jump in, like, okay, that's time to hear from Kent. And Kent was like, actually,
Can I be
like,
honest?
no.
There was only time I heard Kent like really get back in his element, and when I accidentally asked the wrong topic of my question and said Earth instead of universe, and he's like, "Oh, Earth, woo, something a back of my element."
Video one,
about that 7R1, baby, and okay.
Bring in Bird.
Bringing in, we got a whole bunch of people backstage saying hi to Bird and Leo and Ogre. And Rachel, and we are starting the And if you are a theist and you disagree with us, I know we're a skeptic themed channel, but come on board. We won't mute you. We won't kick
you. Darth.
Kent.
Little PP. He's actually running his own show, so I doubt we'll see him.
True.
Little PP in the house. What up?
Hey, Bird.
It's awesome.
I know how you feel.
Hey, Amy,
anyway, Bird.
Yo, what's up?
We have been midnight ranting on the age of the universe and on modern day debate inspired. Show off my tits every time I can. Woohoo! What are your thoughts about either the debate or the topic?
Well, interesting topic. I did not watch the debate. There's really no reason to. Kent is just going to say, buy my stuff. My ideas are the real ideas, yet he presents none of them to actual scientists because he knows that he'll be laughed off the stage. So that's why he doesn't do that. If you want to take a look at this as a pragmatic point, he says the Earth is about 6,000 years old. We have a hill in Turkey called Göbekli Tepe, which literally means Potbelly Hill. And this has been undisputedly classified to be about 12,000 years old. So we're talking about 10,000 BC. So that just this hill right here, which is very easily radiocarbon dating, and it's like there's no denying it from the scientific community that these pillars are about 12,000 years old. Just this one bit of evidence destroys creationism right there.
Absolutely.
Young Earth creationism.
Yeah.
So what else do you have? I mean, if he says he needs 5,000 things, to convince him, no, this is one. Pay attention to this, learn about it, and then you can talk about something else. But just this one bit of evidence destroys young Earth creationism. That's the end of it.
Yeah, so like you could. Yeah. No. What else do you want to say, Bird?
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, there's no reason to watch a debate with him. He has the same script.
It's amusing.
It's amusing, and I know people enjoy it. I personally don't, but that's just my own. I don't want to waste people on.
Don't get worked up.
Exactly.
Don't risk your own sanity if you don't want to.
Right. Exactly. So it's just hilarious. We're not talking like this place is 1 million or 2 million years old or anything. We're talking 12,000 years old. So there's no way to get around the, you can't use that type of carbon dating, even though people that say that stuff have no idea how radiocarbon dating works. I don't either, but I trust the experts. I trust the geologists, and I trust the people that do this for a living. So
you think they might know more than some young Earth creationists on the internet, or YouTube Christians, as we're going to start calling them?
Yeah, YouTube Christians. That's a great. Oh man, that is beautiful. You just made my night with that one. But yeah, if you can't get past this, then there's literally no hope to talking any sense to anything about you. So I'm gonna get on my horse. This sounds like a lot of fun. Let's do it. Amy.
Thanks, Bird.
Thank you so very much, Bird.
Who do we got next?
And okay, we're going to keep on moving along.
Yeah.
And then
try to
once
get
we got
everyone in
everybody,
quickly,
we'll
yeah.
go back into open conversation. But Leo, this must have been a field
Yeah.
day conversation debate for you.
Leo must have been, yeah.
So welcome. We are Midnight Ranting on the age of the universe, either the debate or the topic itself. How are you and what are your thoughts?
Hey, Leo, welcome back.
What
Good to
up,
see
Leo?
you.
I'm doing good. I did watch the debate. Of course, I was in and out for probably the first half an hour of the debate just because I had some other things going on. So I didn't hear all of that. But, I mean, it was the usual. Ken Hovind didn't understand what the fuck he was talking about, but
Yep.
acts like he's an expert because he used to teach some, maybe middle school math and science at a church for every Sunday for Sunday school. So he thinks he's some teacher and knows everything.
Right.
But anyway, that's tangential to the point. The thing is, the first thing I want to say is I was both surprised and impressed at the breadth of knowledge that Avi had on this subject, at least the specified subject of their debate. I don't know if he's somebody that has an interest in cosmology and astrophysics like myself, or if he just thoroughly did his research for this debate. So that's the first thing I wanted to say. The second thing is that I think, just like Maddie, Science Side Up, he did a very, very good job of keeping Kent Hovind on the topic of the debate. So I think that that's something else he needs to be commended for. There are a lot of things that Kent Hovind said that are, I mean, just straightforwardly wrong. The biggest one, the one that just really, it just astounds me, is he says that we don't know what electromagnetic radiation, or rather what light is, and we do. Light is electromagnetic radiation. It's a phenomenon that results from interactions in a fundamental field of energy in nature. It's very, very well defined. In fact, quantum electrodynamics is probably more well defined than most physical theories humans have, describing aspects of nature that we interact with every day, like evolutionary theory or germ theory or even general relativity. This is how well confirmed these aspects of reality are. So we know very, very well what light is. We know very well what electromagnetism is and what electromagnetic radiation is. He also said we've never seen a star form. And if he means we've never actually observed everything from the collapse of the initial collapse of the cloud of gas and dust to the star actually becoming a star, then no. But we have seen various stages of the development of a star, so we can obviously infer from that, like any reasonable person would, given this information, that obviously there's a process of how stars developed. And given that we've seen different parts of that, we can sort of weave together a solid description of what stellar formation is and how they form, and that's exactly what we've done. Scientists are going to be the first ones to tell you that there's gaps in our understanding of planetary formation, stellar formation, galactic formation, all this stuff, because we, living for, and I'm being generous here, roughly 100 years, are simply not privy to the timescales on which these cosmological events take place. So, of course, we're not going to know every last detail about them. We can only work with what we have observed, making inferences from that and running simulations, which is that's what we work off of. And scientists are the first ones. They're the first ones to admit that, we don't know everything. It's funny that the people who know the most about a subject always seem to be the ones who are the quickest to stress that the limits of their knowledge. I've always, but we all know, about the Dunning-Kruger effect. More to the actual subject, the age of the universe. The age of the universe is something that's actually known with a reasonable degree of precision and is known relatively accurately. It's about 13.77 billion years old, and just briefly, the way that we determine this is utilizing the Hubble constant, but more than that, we have to look at the structure of space-time, because everything that exists in space-time, mass, energy, and all that stuff, radiation, is going to have an effect on its expansion rate to some degree. And so when we consider the structure of the universe alongside the Hubble constant, we are capable of extrapolating backward through flipping some things in the equations and getting inverse time, and we can estimate that the universe is 13.77 billion years old, give or take. I want to say it's somewhere in the 150 to 500 million year range, something like that. And I've ranted for long enough, so I will yield to Amy.
Well, thank you, Leo. Would you say that like, because you didn't know what light is. Light is the force carrier for the radiation. Is that a correct statement?
The photon
The photon is the force carrier.
What carries the force, because that's a very, very loose description of what's actually going on naturally.
Right, like
and electromagnetic radiation is also carried by photons.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And that was one of the statements that jumped out at me. Just like, can you make
We don't
that
know what
claim?
light
We
is,
don't
yeah.
know. I feel like we
I've heard
do
a lot of
know.
people
You
say
just
that.
don't know personally, Kent.
I mean, I can understand why a lot of people don't know, because even classical electromagnetism is pretty. It's decently mathematically rigorous. There's quite a bit of multivariable calculus, vector calculus involved with it, and it can get it's a little bit more mathematically rigorous, like general relativity. In fact, I would argue that things like general relativity and classical electromagnetism are probably a little bit more mathematically rigorous than entry-level quantum mechanics.
Well,
And there are statements
yeah.
that are crazy on their outskirt that are true. Like, we don't fully know what gravity is. We just know that it works.
We know how it works. We don't know what it causes it.
Even those statements are generally, with a million asterisks after them. It just seems weird. He just threw a lot of those statements out. Well, that and like, we don't know how stars form. Those were two very broad statements that were like, are you just denying the models? Because we generally do know how those things form. Right. Of all the things you're denying.
Oh, by the way, I did want to say, just if anybody is curious to really dig deep into it, and this isn't that difficult and it doesn't take very long, but if you would like me to, at some point later, once we've gotten some people in, I can actually share my iPad screen and actually work through the derivation, the calculation of the age of the universe, utilizing the Hubble constant and other things that we know about reality.
That'd be cool. I'd be interested to know.
Tensor calculus with Leophilius.
Well, this won't be tensor calculus. This will just be basic arithmetic. You just, as long as you know what some values are, you plug them in. You do some stuff with some fractions. You do some addition and multiplication, and you're there. So yeah, it's not mathematically hard at all. A middle schooler could figure it out if you gave him the right information.
But
so
what
Ken
about
should be able to figure it out.
Yeah. He should. He should
be able.
It's middle school, so we're pushing the limits of Ken's knowledge.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, who we got next? Okay. Who's on next on the menu?
Ogre, another person I feel
it's
like
orgy. It's orgy. No.
And I feel like this is another one of those topics where when he hears people say things so wrong that his blood pressure just must go up. But
he probably hit the ceiling when he saw this this debate.
Exactly. We have been midnight ranting on the age of the universe. How are you, and what are your thoughts about the debate, the topic? I often say tacos. Any of those?
I love tacos.
Yeah, I guess following Leo is kind of a hard path here because
that's what she said.
A lot of the basics. I would say Avi did a very good job of keeping Kent on topic, which is more of a pain in the ass than it should be. I'd like Kent Hovind to explain his God made the light traveling hypothesis and how that's not God lying to us. Because if God made the light to appear older than it is, but isn't, and didn't say he did that, isn't that God lying to you? Like, am I just misconstruing the concept?
But you're assuming that God is real, so you're,
You just give him the benefit of the doubt.
If everything Kent Hovind said was 100% accurate, how is God not lying to people by making light appear mid-travel and then making the star behind it so that it looks like it's traveling when it's not?
Yeah.
That's like an obvious deduction to me, but hey.
Why would God even need this big of a universe to just make shit on Earth? Why would he need stars billions of light years away?
Yeah, that stuff's all leading questions from the theory, but you never have to get that far because, well, Leo kind of covered the science part of things, I would say. So, yeah, usual Kent Hovind. Enjoyed watching it just for the lols, and yeah, I guess that's what I got. And go tacos.
Go tacos.
Woohoo!
Woo-hoo.
Get some taco sauce, Amy.
Hello.
Oh my, is that what they call it?
Yeah. Got a little cheese on the taco.
And okay, we have been Midnight Ranting on the age of the universe. We got 3 more people still backstage, and then we will go back into the open conversation. But Rachel, we have been Midnight Ranting on the age of the universe. I was about to say, I hope you're having a fun time, but I hope you are having a fun time. Oh, she just dropped out. That's okay.
She'll be back.
That's okay. Nick, we have been Midnight Ranting. Oh, wait, is she back? She's back. Wait, let's see. I can do more jazz hands. I can do jazz hands all night.
Hey,
Hello,
success.
Rachel.
You with us,
Hello.
Rachel?
Hello. My bad. I lost connection.
Woohoo! No, that's okay. My browser crashes like every hour. It's a good exercise. But how are you? And what are your thoughts about either the debate or just the subject about the age of the universe, or as we were talking about, tacos in general?
Well, tacos are awesome, but it's not Tuesday. I have so much to discuss. I just don't want to take up too much time.
Get it.
So first off, humans, they just discovered a cave in South Africa that shows signs of early tools made in ash, bones, and all kinds of stuff from making fires that age back 1.8 million years ago. Okay, that's almost Ice Age time, before Ice Age time. But anyways, my theory about
6,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. My theory about the universe is we can never tell how old it is, even though we can date that stuff back to 13.7 billion years ago. I still think that everything resets when a black hole starts. So I think we're actually inside of a black hole. And the universe on the outside of a black hole, we're sucking in all the energy, making our own universe inside the black hole. And I think as soon as the black hole starts, everything being sucked in, the time just starts over. So
It's new time.
Cool.
you know what I mean? So
Time since the black hole formed.
Our galaxy is dated back 13.7 billion years. But the galaxy on the other side, I mean, you never know. Could be there could be no end.
So this is just like your theory? Like that's what you think is happening?
Yes.
Gotcha.
That's the start of the Big Bang. It was the start of the black hole, sucking in energy. And that's our Big Bang.
Interesting.
I also suck in energy. Okay.
Hello.
I'm done.
It sounds like the Hovind theory,
Get it.
or Amy's theory about that canopy. Amy likes the canopy, the ice wall up in the sky. Amy, remember?
Goddess, the ice wall. It's
Almost flat
funny.
Earth talk.
Or the ice canopy, the dome up there, but it's ice for Ken Hovind.
Ice.
Could I
baby.
comment on a couple of things before we get the next person in here really quickly?
Okay, go ahead, Leo.
So
And thank you so very much, Rachel.
I think you.
So I should not have worded it as the universe is roughly 13.8 billion years old. Colloquially, that's not inaccurate, but that's not what I should have said. Because technically, in a certain sense, it's not true. It's better to say that 13.77 billion years is what we get when we extrapolate backward in time. That's about as far as physics, our physics as we currently have it, is going to take us backward. If we were to go back in time using our physics as we understand it today, the furthest back we'll be able to get before we just can't go any further. We don't have advanced enough physics and mathematics to do so, is roughly 13.77 billion years. As to the black hole creating universes, that is an interesting It is an interesting model. It's one that physicists have proposed. Unfortunately, it's probably not true. Given the fact that energy doesn't actually leave a black hole, we know that energy doesn't leave a black hole. We know that the information paradox can be solved. We just don't know exactly which particular solution is the right one. So, given that, I think it's safe to say that the start of our universe, if there was one, was likely not the result of anything dealing with black holes.
But I'd love to talk about it.
And okay, thank you so much, Leo. And we're gonna
Nick.
be moving along.
Nick.
We have Nick and Sam and Atheist Jr. If you'd like to come on board, the line's not too bad, and the water's fine.
Hello.
That's what they tell us anyway.
That's what they
She
say.
She does bite though. Be careful.
Only if you like that. But
And-
Nick,
And we do.
we have been Midnight
Affirmative consent is
Ranting.
required here.
Ooh. Yes, there are forms you have to sign, but after that, it's
Yep.
all.
You consent by coming in. It's,
Once your
yeah.
signature's on the paper, no holds barred.
Oh yeah, no, I signed them, and then just to make sure that Amy got them, I sent her a second copy. I want to make sure that we were
Oh
good.
my. And okay, Nick, we're talking the age of the universe. How are you and your thoughts about either the debate or the topic?
I'm good. I'm doing really good. I have to say, it did seem natural to me, when we were talking about black holes and information being incapable of leaving them. I knew we were talking about Kent Hovind, so I came right away.
you came right away. That's good.
Oh dear Lord, dear
You walked
Lord.
right into that.
All right. Yes, I did. No. Okay, I was going to say.
You forget
something
which
else.
channel you're on.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to be a little more careful on my
More
phrasing.
jazz hands.
Yeah, but okay.
Jazz
So
hands.
all that aside, let's see. Now, you know what? I enjoyed the debate. I thought it was very well done. Hovind is a pain in the neck, and I think he can be interesting to debate because anybody who really does go by script, and that's a number of people. You just sit down, take a couple of weeks, and at least for me, it takes a couple of weeks. Sit down and really go over it and go through all the avenues, and I think you can do well. So, but it's always interesting, and he's annoying. But it gets into what I liked was the global skepticism that we had talked about before, which is we don't know everything. And because we don't know everything, then that means you can do a reducto on anything, and then when you find the thing that we don't know about it. So we don't know everything about light, ergo we know nothing about light. And it's a lovely jump when he does that. But a lot of people do that, and it's really unfortunate. I do think and that's also how I can see him saying the argument with the light. Well, God isn't tricking anyone, and he's not lying to anyone. This is just how he set up the universe, and he wants us to use our creativity to try to figure these things out. And just because we get it wrong, we can't blame him. But at any rate, it was a good debate, and I think Hovind is one of those. I really kind of wish everybody would stop platforming him and talking to him, because that's how he gets his power. But on the flip side, on the flip side, at least if it's done well, hopefully good does come from it. So I'm very conflicted on anything Hovind related, but that's my view.
I mean, he usually goes out and face plants in these debates, so I think anybody watching with a open mind is going to see that he doesn't know what he's talking about usually. So
I think that's true. My concern is, of course, everybody at modern day debates is already going to be, for the most part, predisposition to not like Hovind. That isn't his core audience at modern day debates. And some of the people who really like him are going to follow him there, but most of his regular followers aren't going to follow him there. I did a debate, and I did it on his channel explicitly for that reason. And
you debated him on his channel?
Yep.
When was that?
Nice.
That was probably 2 years ago. It was on Evolution. Is Evolution real? And I can probably drop the link to that. But it was.
Oh yeah, I would like to watch it.
Do that. I didn't know you debated him.
Yeah. It was. I'll drop a link in the private chat, and then Amy can drop it over there. It was. And I mean, I enjoyed the debate. Now there was 300,000 subs.
Do you have it mirrored on your channel?
No, that was his. because it was
Oh.
it was his. We debated on his channel, so that's 300,000 subs. And I'm sitting there going, like, I'm talking to the people I want to listen. And I said this too because people got pissed. I called him doctor. I called him doctor because even though I made me, my wife has a PhD in biochemistry. I know what it takes to get a PhD.
Right,
We were
right.
dating as she was getting it. It was cringeworthy to call him that. But I'm on his channel, and if I don't show him respect, and if you look at the comments from that debate on his channel, which
No, that's understandable.
Yeah, and it worked out. Anyways, I thought it worked out as well as you could possibly hope. But yeah, I think there's a constant tension between who do you platform and who do you not, and why. And I don't have the answers to it, but I'm conflicted. I'll get the link right now.
And thank you so much, Zach. And I agree with you. I think there was at one point when I was asking him a question, I once used the word doctor because, first of all, the atheists almost use it tongue in cheek. So we use it, and it's like with a smile behind our face.
We get it.
If it's going to come in conflict with actually making good points, it's like, do you want to get the dig at the school, or do you want to get someone who's on the fence to understand the point?
Yes,
and yes.
So, yeah.
And we all know, everybody knows it's fake.
Yeah,
it's a battle worth fighting.
I could write a PhD on the back of an IHOP menu and hang that on my wall, and it would be about as valid.
It is a testimony to how we look at ourselves. We really do look at ourselves really through, he must have done something. He must have taught like trig or something somewhere for some amount of years. And he now takes that as like his anchor to mean like, I have been a teacher for like, I don't know. I was teaching at Harvard, and I was actually pushing the general relativity forward to tie it together into quantum
before
mechanics.
Einstein.
It's like, where are you?
I out Einstein. I taught Stephen Hawking.
And it's always suspicious.
I owned Neil deGrasse Tyson and Bill Nye.
Yeah. And okay. We'll bring in Sam. Sam, one last thing before we bring in Sam is I just wanted to talk about the platform. I am interested into how the Christians think about him, because it's easy for us to say, why do they keep on bringing him back? Because to us, he must be a jokey person. But on the Christian side, is he considered this...
It depends on it depends on who you talk to. I mean, Standing for Truth is down with him. SFT was in there promoting Kent, and yeah.
I was gonna say everybody must have their own differences, though. Like
LPP was obviously down for it.
Yeah, you know me.
LPP's a young Earth creationist. I like to call him Quantum John just because. Inside joke. But
Little PP.
He's a young Earth creationist, but you'll only ever hear him discuss one argument, and it's the same with Otangelo. Rarely they'll discuss other
DNA
topics that are brought up,
genetics.
but they don't know. And it's it's essentially the whole irreducible complexity arguments, and then trying to argue that because there's a cross between computer science and information theory and biology, things like computational biology and bioinformatics, that codes and everything. So it must
biogenesis is physically impossible.
Designed.
Yep.
That's what Otangelo was. It's physically impossible. It could never happen.
Well, the thing with Otangelo is when he makes that argument is he also makes the argument, and once I say this, you guys will probably catch on to what I'm going to say. He also makes the argument that the universe is finely tuned for life.
Yeah.
It's interesting that he makes the argument that what we call the natural world is finely tuned so that life can exist and sustain itself within reality, but then that same reality is not capable of actually developing life on its own, which seems to defeat the claim that it's finely tuned for life.
Right.
So, and I've asked him this on a few occasions. How do you reconcile these two arguments? How do you reconcile these
What does he say? What does he say, Amy?
You need to focus. F-U-C-U-S. What does that spell?
Fuck.
Fuck us.
Well, and you think he'd have a sense of humor about it. I mean, after he figured out that he screwed the pooch on that one, you'd think it'd be, but he was just it didn't even he's just going
Didn't
forward.
even register. It was like
No.
That was
And
on Tart,
okay.
by the way, on a couple nights ago. Midnight Sharking on Tart.
Oh, really?
With
Well, now
me, Amy, Oz, and Atheist Jr. and Otangelo. And Tom Rabbit came on.
and
Oh,
Theus, you're welcome to join us, or Creationists, even more specifically.
Yeah, we want to hear
Hi.
it. What's up?
I see
YouTube out
what's
there.
it called? Ross, I debated Ross on Modern Day Debate. Ross, how are you? He was a nice guy though.
The
So
Aussie,
come on and join us. I know he does
the Flat Earth Aussie.
I'm gonna strongman his position. How should I
Aussie
say
Jesus.
this? He does not believe in the round earth model. So
Oh,
come
well.
on
Oh wow.
and
Okay.
and have it done.
Flat
the-
Earther, huh?
Oh, that's why he asked me
but I
about
still love him.
$10,000. Okay. I was trying to figure out.
Get the money ready, Nick. He's gonna
Yes,
take
to
it.
answer your question, Ross, Nick is the one. I saw you asking that in the chat. He was like, "Is Nick the one that has the $10,000
that's
flat
me.
Earth challenge?"
Go
Right
grab that
down
money,
there.
Ross.
Get
Grab it.
it. Get it.
10 biggins.
We have
Stripper liquor.
Dave Thomas, not the Wendy's guy.
Not the
other
Wendy's guy.
Dave Thomas, who cracked the Bible code. You can find he's on the cover of Scientific American. He cracked the Bible code and showed that you could do that with like Huckleberry Finn or
Moby Dick.
Bullshit.
Yeah. So he's the head of the New Mexican Skeptics Alliance and all these other. He's in New Mexico, so he's at the heart of like he does the debunking for all the videos. He's debunked a whole bunch of the videos, the whatever. And he worked at Los Alamos, and he's got a T-shirt that says, I actually am a rocket science, and your Google it does not equal my PhD.
Right.
But he's part of. We have several different scientists who help us with the. So if he can come up with something that we just agree will produce an accurate and reliable result on the flat of the Earth, we will do any test that our scientists say will do that. And that's what the gun one was the best. But yeah, I'd be happy to talk to him.
That's right. Come on board. Get that $10,000.
Come on down.
And okay, welcome, Jason. But on board next is Sam. Sam, we have been midnight ranting on the age of the universe. Oh man, and I've been saying this to James on Modern Day Debate. I want to be on Kent's side for a flat Earth debate.
That'd be so
That'd be
amazing.
so.
No. It's got to be 1v1, specifically Kent Hovind versus Nathan Thompson.
That's what
I'd pay for that too.
I would also pay for
That would be so painful. So
Nathan Thompson versus Godless Girl.
Oh no.
That would be
No, you're wrong for that one, James.
It would be a dumpster fire, but it would be from the beginning. But yeah, I don't know.
Just like the Nathan
We would
Thompson
hit
versus
certain-
T-Jump debate.
The amount of bro levels that it just
Or-
hits. Bro.
Arn
The
Robb
amount of
versus
bro.
Nathan Thompson. That was
The amount of-
painful.
The amount of raw debate bro vibes in the T-Jump versus Nathan Thompson debate was it like I felt like I could debate 150 people at once walking out of that one.
Yeah.
I mean, shit.
I'm not
You look it
even
up,
wearing
bro.
a hat, and I want to turn it backwards. And
You look it up, bro.
we are gonna bring Sam. Sam,
Cool
We have
story,
been-
bro.
midnight ranting, bro.
Cool story, bro.
No, believe whatever the government tells you. Did you get that data from someone else, bro? Okay. Sam,
The whales
we
have a
been midnight
15-foot
ranting.
penis.
That's how almost all data. What is the last? I want to say it doesn't have to be college, high school class. I feel like middle school. They should have went over the scientific method. Okay,
Can I say one? Can I say one? Oh,
Sure.
no, not if I'm sorry. Well, so for my debate with Hovind, I did a whole thing. I did an intro that was pre-recorded. Did the intro, showed a whole bunch of hip bones for whales. Showed all these other things. Showed like 6 or 7 whale hip bones, and later he said, "Okay, those are the it's the penis of a whale." I said, "Actually, did you see my intro?" I said, "Yeah," and he showed a whole bunch of them. So I showed 8. everyone was female. I said, and it was included with the tracking number, so you can go to the. And I'd called Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute and arranged for an autopsy to be done for both Kent Hovind and I on a female whale. He said no.
But Nick, he did an 8-year study on whale penises for his PhD.
Yeah, he seemed awfully interested in those, in my view. I'm not a psychologist, but
Me and him both. But
he has papers published on whale penises.
I'm sure he does.
whales.
Yeah, well,
that's right.
back of a napkin on Burger King doesn't really count in my view, but okay.
Whale penises. Why instead of saying that, why don't we call them what they are? Dorks.
To be specific, of course, for science.
For science.
And
Do it for
okay,
science.
Sam. We now have Sam, and then we have Jason and Flat Earth Ozzy in the back. But Sam, we have been midnight ranting on the age of the universe. What are your thoughts on either the debate or the subject? Or tacos?
Yeah, first of all, can anybody hear me?
Yes.
We hear you.
Sam.
Yeah, I was just waiting for you to get rid of your tangents a good 10 minutes before I turned my cam on. It's okay. I was having a bag of popcorn. As far as I know, to be honest, the only information I can remember about this topic is countless nights with Amy going over the Big Bang. And I know there's at least 3 major pieces of evidence to prove there was a bang. I remember one is the fact that the universe is still spreading outward, and the distance between distance between stars and planets and other celestial bodies like a black hole or whatever is still expanding, and except for Andromeda that's coming toward us. The other is the echo of the bang that can still be recorded and heard with special technology. And I think the third was a light signature. Amy, what is it, the third one again?
I would
A lightsaber?
My 2 that off the top of my head is the constant and the microwave background image, but there probably is something else as well.
The increasing distance between bodies in space, the echo from the bang, and I think you mentioned like a light signature or some proof that a bunch of light was released.
The cosmic microwave background, galactic redshift, the abundance of hydrogen in the early universe. These are generally the 3 primary lines of evidence that we have. I mean, but also the Friedmann solutions to Einstein's field equations of general relativity give us that the universe must either be expanding or contracting. And when you take that with galactic redshift, which tells us that space-time is expanding, the abundance of hydrogen in the early universe, and the cosmic microwave background, what you start to get is a picture of a universe that started out in a very, very hot, very, very dense state, and from that point has been evolving into the universe we see today, and this is thusly called the concordance model, or the standard model of cosmology.
Right. So it sounds like if the universe were contracting, it'd be like a blue shift, right? Or violet on the other end of the spectrum?
If it were contracting at the speeds that it is expanding at, yeah, there would probably be a.
So we just heard a word salad from Leo, so we're just going to go ahead and mute him again.
And although it's fair noting that the fact that it is, I agree that of course it does have to be either expanding or contracting, but Einstein didn't. That's why he had the cosmological constant, and the one who figured that out was actually a Catholic priest,
George Lemaitre. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's at least 3 pieces of evidence to prove that the universe is still expanding and had some kind of origin. But even before that, and you're gonna love this phrase, I didn't think something could come from nothing. So the only thing I could conclude was that the universe was always here, just in a different form. There had to be matter, some kind of ingredients to set off the bang.
Energy.
yeah, it's combustion. So something was here before the bang, and this is what's here after the bang. And
Just as a quick side note, the Big Bang, there was no combustion. The temperatures were billions of times greater than what you would need for combustion. The Big Bang was an inflation and then a subsequent expansion of space-time itself.
There you go.
Which could be the start of the black hole.
Well,
The only
essentially-
reason-
Could be, but probably isn't.
Did
given
it
that
did it reach the Planck
inflation does-
temperature?
as you can see, this
yes,
is not.
the Planck temperature is the hottest temperature you can get to.
But did it ever? Was it ever at the Planck temperature?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then
Well,
it
and
cooled
the
rapidly, I
reason-
guess.
one of the problems is our understanding of the laws of physics breaks down at like
Well, that's
micro
10 to the
nanoseconds.
negative 13th seconds. General
Yeah.
relativity.
You can
just
count
yield
it again.
infinities, and we can't describe
Thank you so very much, Sam.
space-time.
And the reason why it's called the Big Bang is because, like many things, it got caught on. It was an insult, and the scientists were just basically like, "Yeah, we're just going to use that because we think it's funny now because you said that." But it's not like Leo was saying. It is not really an explosion so much as the best
Expansion.
example is generally and.
Thank you.
Say it for the audience. She's got work. She's protecting. But it's kind of like a balloon, and it's kind of like there are dots on the balloon, and just if you imagine the balloon was all shriveled up, and that was like a singularity, it's almost like that Big Bang was the energy making that balloon go. And so now all the dots on that balloon are technically from the location of the other dots look further away. And they will. They keep on going like that because of dark energy.
And if you just keep blowing, keep blowing, keep blowing, keep blowing, it'll keep getting bigger.
Hello. Yeah,
I did want to
She
take just a really, really quick moment to do an evil thing and shill one of my videos. Anybody who's interested on learning more about many of
plug your channel.
The evolutionary epochs that occurred in the earliest moments of the universe's evolution. If you go to my channel, you'll find a video called Dr. Eigenstate Explains the Big Bang, where I explain how the universe evolved immediately after the inflationary epoch up to the moment of recombination, which is when the cosmic microwave background was released as photons decoupled from matter.
Cosmic evolution. That's on video 3.
And then I also have one on explaining what inflation is, what cosmic inflation or inflationary theory is. The three aspects of that.
That's on video 2, thermodynamics.
Yeah, second law of thermodynamics.
Seminar 2. Buy my VHS tape, drdino.com.
every day. And okay, we have one more person to add in. I think Flat Earth was trying to join, but he might have been having a connection issue.
Okay, so I'd just like to ask at least one or two questions. One, I skipped the debate because I honestly don't like watching modern day unless somebody from here is there.
Because you're
And
smart.
two, I just would like to know how we know calculated the age of the universe again. Because if I'm not mistaken, the Earth is like 8.5 billion, where the universe is 13.
4.4 billion years old.
Yeah.
And then
He's gonna demonstrate it for us shortly.
Just calm down. You can answer that after the next person introduces themselves. Okay, I don't want them to wait like I did.
No, he's raring to go.
No, that's fine. You bring everybody in first.
Yeah, we'll get him, and then you can show us your
Whatever Andy wants to
calculation.
do.
So,
And
We're gonna
okay.
bring Jason in, yeah,
Let's
and then
bring
she'll
in
bring him
Jason.
in.
line discussion. But,
Hey, Jason.
Hold on, just-
Hello,
Hey,
Jason.
can you hear me?
Hi,
We hear you.
Jason. Yes. So
great.
we are Midnight Ranting on the age of the universe. How are you? And what are your thoughts about either the debate or the topic?
Yeah, so I was only able to catch a portion of the debate.
Good for you.
Yeah. And so, sorry, can't look at myself on the screen. Yeah,
know how
so
you feel.
anyway, yeah. anyways, I thought the piece that I did see, I thought Avi did a really good job. I think that he hit upon kind of the core components that, at least in terms of like time dilation and the issues around, the parallax measurements. I thought he did a really good job of that. The only thing I would mention, and I'll make it really brief, is it seems like Kent's perspective is that the Earth and therefore the universe is 6,000 years old. So any mechanism to describe the Earth or the universe as older than 6,000 years old defeats Kent's position. So in that respect, I mean, Avi could get into like how old the universe is, but in reality, he could probably have used, and maybe I just didn't catch it near the end, he could use other Earth related components to prove the Earth is older than 6,000 years and therefore debunk Kent's position on that.
Right. Which is why I said about Göbekli Tepe being 12,000 years old. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah, so I'll just stop there, and I'm just interested in the conversation. So.
Well, we got Specimen Ridge, which is in
Thank
Yellowstone,
you so very much, Jason.
where there's 27 layers of forest covered by volcanic ash, another layer of forest, more volcanic ash. It almost looks like you've got 27 forests being destroyed by volcanic eruptions, one on top of the other, which does not happen in 6,000 years. But yeah.
Yeah, there are all kinds of geologic, isotopic geochemistry, so many different components from
it's just not possible. Yeah.
There are actually. Prove. That's true.
I mean, and I know maybe Kent was prepared for that, but I liked Avi's kind of propositional structure on attacking his, having Kent try to refute his propositions. And if he can't deductively refute his propositions, then he fails.
He tried to contain him, prevent him from gish galloping and just making a bunch of bald assertions with no evidence and obfuscating.
What do you guys think of him using the 20, sometimes almost 30-year-old papers? Like, I'm going to make the same joke I made.
They were new papers when he made a slideshow.
Right. Cutting edge research of the 1960s.
Did he talk about the moon's recession?
I don't think he brought that up this time.
Okay, all right, yeah.
He did it with Maddie, and Maddie roasted him on it, but
yeah, she roasted him on everything. He would bring something up, and she would just be like, "No, see, you're wrong, and here's why," and do it. Oh God, it's so beautiful.
Actually, Kent, we do know that now. We didn't know that in 1991, but we know it now.
So many generations of sitcoms have come since then, Kent. Come on.
That's what she said.
Oh God. See, look at that got my dog barking. That was so bad.
Open the door. I'm going to step in, just so you know.
Bird sharking.
I like the 6,000.
Uh-oh.
We lost Megan.
Someone.
Rachel. We lost Rachel.
That's okay. Bye, Rachel.
Come back if you want.
Sam, if either of you ladies. Here she's back.
Or the Aussie.
I think Sam
Ross,
maybe.
He can come back.
I know. I'd love to talk to a flat earther.
And if you are they're both back. But if you are a theist of any stripe, come on board. Say your views. If you're whether you are a fundamentalist or just our friendly metaphorical theists who's the Catholics seem to accept everything because, like, you just was it Nick that brought it up? But like a Catholic priest, it's because they spent money in this shit. That's why they're like, listen, we invested money in these priests and like sent them to school. They better get results back. Their actual
their faith isn't their faith isn't based on just a blind adherence to Scripture. They believe in other things, tradition, and other types of revelation. They don't only rely on the Bible. So if it's literal or figurative, it really doesn't matter so much to them.
Not that I side with the Catholics.
Not that they're right.
Theology, but just they seem to randomly, for economic and historical reasons, seem to align themselves sometimes with science.
They're not fundamentalists on that.
Monetary reasons.
it seems like if you were a good, like if you were a decent debater, you would not even bring up the topics of justifications from the Bible. That you would say, look, I believe in God, but I'm not using the Bible in any way to support my positions. I think that science can support a 6,000-year-old Earth. The Bible may enforce that, but I'm not using the Bible as justification for that. And I think that that's like death sentence, that you cannot do that. You can't use the Bible to justify.
It is, but it is nice to see one, like we watch all these flat earth debates and they never mention God or the Bible or whatever, but once you get below the surface, that's what's driving a lot of it, is a religious belief. But yeah, they don't make that as part of their presentation, like, oh, it's science.
Yeah, agreed.
But if you poke them,
the 6,000-year-old thing.
What was that? And funny thing about the 6,000-year-old thing?
Oh, the funny thing about 6,000-year-old thing is, I mean, they say it's 6,000-year-old. God created it in 6 days. It's funny that on the seventh day, was he just like, screw it, I'm just going to throw in dinosaur bones, mess them up a little bit. I mean,
there you go.
Yeah, there's different. I mean, Alex Stein says dinosaurs are fake.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait,
they're a hoax.
I mean, you have. Yeah. So I'm sorry, James. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm just going to say that, like, the dinosaur piece, I mean, it seems like a lot of creationists have differing views. Like I don't even know how they explain it. Like, some say they're giant bones. Some say that's a conspiracy and they don't really exist. But they typically always have to really stretch to explain that, even though the other model fits really well and it works really well. Everything fits together.
The reality model.
Yeah, the crazy older theory.
And no, you're fine. You were saying about the age of bones.
Funny how we have bones of giant lizards, but no bones of giant humans.
Oh, they're being suppressed. They're being hidden, and
they believe in giants sometimes. So let me tell you, not only do they believe that sometimes that Satan is hiding dinosaur bones, but yeah, I mean,
Noah was 18 feet tall. That's why the ark was so much bigger, because his cubit. How big would his foot be, Amy, and how big would his hands be?
Oh my! Well,
wow. Hello.
Let's hope we keep that going. I'm just gonna try and fit in every phallic joke that I can tonight. But we are Midnight Ranting on the Age of the Universe. We still have one spot open. Anyone wants to join us? Theist.
Maybe Leo now wants to do his little presentation that he wanted to show us, unless anyone else wants to jump in.
And if not, I have more cards to talk about.
I can go if y'all are at a pause.
Yeah, you want to do that, Amy?
Absolutely.
Let's hear from the Ophelius. Just make him full screen, I guess.
Well, I was gonna say, tell me when you're ready.
You don't
Leo,
need to make me
make
full screen. You just gotta
share
screen.
Screen.
There you go. Okay.
Before let me make sure my writing's good. Okay. That's not what I wanted to do. Before I jump into this, I do want to say really quickly that this is a more simplistic calculation, so it assumes that the what the Hubble constant is now is what the Hubble constant might have been earlier in the universe's history, which is most likely not true. So it is simplistic, but you start with the Hubble constant, which is often denoted as h naught, h sub 0, or h naught, and this is generally equal to velocity over distance. And what we want to do, since we're trying to figure out from this information how long the universe has been here, we have to inverse everything. So what you would do is you would go 1 over h naught is equal to d over v. And so with d over v is...
We lost Leo's screen.
Oh, did you?
I don't think.
All I see is a bunch of faces. I don't see Leo's screen anymore.
Hold on. Give me a second here.
That's okay. I got jazz hands. And let's see. I'm trying to. While he's looking that up, I'll just think of points. One person was making the comment that basically all of Kent's arguments were last Thursdayism. Like, if you took almost all of his arguments to a logical conclusion, then you could not believe in any of the religions that he was talking about. It's like, were you there, Kent? Were you there? Were you there? Well, I guess we weren't. Well, then why do you not think that we can tell when stars form or when planets form or... also made a point, terrible point, which is this: we just want to be animals so we can sin. I really hate how they look down on other animals.
Erica
really
Gutstick Gibbon had a good rant to Atangelo about that a day or two ago on Answers and Atheism's channel. It was pretty enjoyable because he just didn't want to be called an ape. It's like, dude, that's how we classify things. It's not an insult.
Yeah.
It's classification.
She took him to task on that pretty quickly. I am sharing my screen again. For some reason, my reflector app decided to just stop working, which is weird.
There it goes.
But okay, so h sub 0, h naught, that's Hubble constant. It's equal to velocity over distance, which actually be velocity over distance per unit time. And so we invert everything. And so essentially this is just equal to time, which we could give by t. And so what you need to do is you need to take what the Hubble constant is in numbers. So you would get 1, and it's 71 kilometers per second per megaparsec is what it is in the concordance model, in the standard model. So that'd be 1 over 71. And so the numbers are a little bit easier. We're going to convert that to meters. So there's 1,000 meters in a kilometer. So 71, put that over 71,000. And the meters in a megaparsec is 3.09 times 10 to the 22nd meters. And so you would have this over 71,000, the Hubble constant in meters versus kilometers. And this will give you, once you multiply this by the amount of seconds in a year, which is, we're going to say roughly about 31.5 million. We don't need to go to all the digits. You will get, actually, let me do that. You will get roughly 13.8. That's a very shittily drawn 8. 13.8 billion years. And so that is roughly, simplistically, more how the age of the universe is calculated, if anybody was interested in how.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. And like this, and obviously it's highly dependent upon the Hubble constant.
Yeah, exactly. Hit the nail on the head right there, Jason.
Yeah. And that's, I'm sure somebody like Kent is going to say, I don't think that's I don't believe that. I don't believe in that evaluation of an expanding universe and that measurement due through the Doppler effect. I don't agree with that. But the problem with that argument and all of his arguments is that they fly in the face of scientific consensus. So you could even make arguments that have nothing to do with proving the age of the universe. You could say, if that's the case, then why don't we see other scientists making coherent mathematical arguments to that effect? Like, obviously, if the universe is not that old, we should be able to mathematically describe it, and if we can't, then that's a problem. So that's something I would present to Kent, which is why can't
Satan tells us that we have to obey these things to hide God. I'm not going to get my Koch brothers money if I don't do what Satan demands. I mean,
is the questions about the Hubble constant, is that why there's a margin for error in the calculation, or?
And not really, because Jason is 100% correct. Calculating the age of the universe depends very heavily on the Hubble constant, or the rate of the expansion of the scale of space-time, because it's when we talk about the expansion of space-time, it's not like the universe is an actual physical object that's physically getting bigger in some otherwise pre-existing space. So put that notion out of your head. The scale, of distance in space-time grows over sufficient distances. And the thing is, the Hubble constant varies depending on how we measure it. So we can utilize the cosmic microwave background, and it gives us, I think it's 67 kilometers per second per megaparsec. And then we can use standard candles, things like neutron stars, Cepheid variables, this distant objects that are consistent in some way that we can utilize them to calculate distances. We call those standard candles. And we get, I think it's 73 or 74 kilometers per second per megaparsec. But the thing is that calculating the age of the universe relies heavily on the Hubble constant, but it also relies on the structure in terms of what's in space-time, not the actual structure of space-time. So all of the matter, the energy, the radiation that's in space-time, we also have to use that. And so even with the difference in what the Hubble constant should be, that discrepancy between those two measurements, we can still get a very accurate age for the universe, because we also have to depend on all the stuff that's in it. So we can get an accurate age. We can get a universe that's 13.8 billion years, whether we're dealing with it being 5% baryonic matter and 25% dark matter, or maybe 8% baryonic matter and 34% dark matter. So we can change that stuff a little bit and still get a universe that's roughly the same age, which is why that discrepancy doesn't really. The discrepancy itself in the Hubble constant is a problem for cosmology right now. But in terms of calculating the age of the universe, it's not something that's going to really be seen as much of a problem.
And okay, I'm actually going to keep the skeptics on their toes, because I love you guys so much.
Let's do it.
Keep that in mind.
Ross,
Ross,
Aussie.
we are
Oh, boy.
sending Flat Earth Aussie. We're sending you love. We have been Midnight Ranting on the age of the universe. How are you, and what are your thoughts about the debate, the topic, or as always, tacos?
Well, g'day, Amy, and g'day, everybody. Yeah, the debate's not like a huge interest to me personally. It's mildly amusing. I don't think there is an age to the universe myself. I personally think it's completely ageless. It's always existed. And a famous or infamous quote, I don't know if it's even infamous, but the quote that I really enjoyed is from the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus the Christ, which says, in a discussion with Lamar, I believe it was, Jesus said that time never was that man wasn't. And I just find that a hugely interesting philosophical point, which sort of makes you wonder, maybe we live on an eternal realm, and that Earth is quite unique in that it's the only physical plane in existence, which I know that sort of doesn't agree with most people's cosmological view of things, but I personally believe those lights that we see in the sky, the universe, they're not physical the way that the physical plane we exist upon is. We are almost in like a completely different dimension from what they are, and that's why we see them as light. And so if we come at it from a false understanding to begin with, thinking that perhaps we live on one of these little tiny balls spinning through space the way we see the lights in the heavens do, then we're never going to really address reality the way that reality should be addressed. And so if you start with a false premise, then everything that you observe and eventually conclude is going to be completely wrong. And that's my point of view, what I think science has done. They've started with a very wrong premise to begin with, by looking out to the universe to try and understand the ground beneath them to start with, and then making false conclusions, and then making everything that they then believe try and fit, back engineer into this idea of, well, how about we make ourselves go around the sun type of thing, and it's one of these spinning space balls. And so therefore everything to do with astronomy, astrology and all the rest, it's rather incorrect. That's just my take on it.
Oh, wow.
Hey,
Thank you so very
before we all
much,
go at
Ozzy.
Ross, before we go at
And-
Ross, I just like to say to him, I've never heard of the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus before. I Googled it, and this thing is nuts.
Is it a Gnostic text?
It's an interesting book. When I first discovered it, actually, there's an interesting backstory to when I first discovered it. If you got time to hear it, is that back when I first moved up to Byron Bay, part of my spiritual journey, when I still believed I lived on a spinning space ball and went to the easternmost point, the most spiritual place to watch the sun coming up every morning as we spun around the universe, day to day, year to year, is that Byron Bay was a very different sort of place back in those days. It was very sort of spiritual, very hippie, very alternative, and I loved the place. I fit right in. And every fortnight I'd get my dole checked in because I managed to get on the dole, which was quite a mission in itself. I'd go and buy myself a new book, and they had this really cool esoteric bookshop. And I'm wandering in there, and I always go to the most alternative looking stuff, just looking for something interesting to read. And meanwhile, there was two other people in there. There's the storekeeper and a lady, and they're just both sitting at the counter having a bit of a discussion, a rather heated discussion about various different things. And I wasn't really listening. I'm just looking for a book. And anyway, as books do, this one jumped out at me, and it was the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus the Christ. And so I had a bit of a look through it, and I thought, this looks really interesting. Not so much because, I was an ex-Catholic, and so I wasn't really into looking for anything to confirm my upbringing or anything. I was just looking for something different to read. And this said it describes the 18 missing years from when he first left from Jerusalem and travelled all the way through India and Tibet and China, and before he returned at the age of about 30, because back then Jews couldn't teach in the synagogues until they were over 30 years old. So he went and did his training, did his apprenticeship, so to speak, and it was a very interesting book. But anyway, when I walked to the counter, the man and the woman were having this discussion, as I said, quite heated, and the woman was just going, well, what is unconditional love? I want to know what unconditional love is. And I just put the book down on the counter, ready to purchase it, and they just both looked at it, and they were in absolute awe and silence. Like, I just sort of shut them both up. It's like, oh, there it is right there, Jesus the Christ. And it is a very good book. I strongly recommend reading it, even only so if you know what the other people are thinking. It's full of some really brilliant stories, even if you don't agree that they're true. So yeah, I think it's an excellent book. And so for anyone to try and call it nonsense, try reading it and see for yourself rather than rely on other people's opinions.
So Jesus has been to China?
I don't know if it specifically mentioned China, but
I mean, you just did.
I think so. Yeah.
You said Jesus went to
I
China.
don't know if the book specifically mentioned it. I'm just assuming that he did because he traveled to the Far East. And some even say that he eventually spent his life in Japan. So.
Jesus going to India is a well-known theory. Yeah, I've heard of that one. Never heard of China, though.
Well, I just thought it'd be part of the route, if he went to learn from all the greats. Like there's even...
Oh, so you don't know. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Well, we know he went to America with the Book of Mormon, right?
Exactly. So what's the difference? Yeah.
But it's like a good genre of movie, like the road trip movie. Like I want to see a road trip movie with Jesus now.
The Bob Hope and Bob Newhart movies, Road to, yeah.
With the holes in his hands.
What he was doing was miracles, but when he just went and learnt from all the great master healers, especially through India and Tibet and so forth, and why not China? China's very well known for its traditional herbal remedies and so forth.
Why would the Son of God have to go learn from another master healer? What do you, that doesn't even make sense.
Well,
level up.
Why would you say that he's the Son of God? He wasn't always the Christ.
Hold on. Are you disputing that the Bible said he's the Son of God? Are you disputing that?
Where in the Bible does it say that? Jesus always said he was the Son of Man.
That he gave his only begotten Son?
Yeah, but there's no actual Bible written by anybody called God. So, like people can write whatever they like.
Okay. All right.
Bird, read the Wikipedia article. It's pretty nuts.
I know I'm skimming.
No offense, Ross.
Can I just say one thing that Avi is in the chat, and I know he doesn't have time to come in, but I think it's just worthwhile to let Avi know they did a great job.
Oh yes, good job, Avi. Yes.
Yeah.
It was really good.
We all
I think really took Kent out of his element, which is fantastic.
I've
It
never
gives
seen him
facial
speechless.
expressions like,
Uh,
Baba DVD.
All I can say is
So,
between this
yeah.
debate and the one he had with Maddie, Kent's hurting because he performed very
Yes.
poorly in both. I
He
think
did
he got
poor
taken to
with
task
Atheist
in both.
Junior too. Even
I don't know if I've
he
seen
wasn't
that
even
one.
on. It was on SFT last week on Standing for Truth.
What was the topic?
Should evolution be taught in school?
Oh.
Yeah, that's a loaded question, Kent.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
I did want to ask Ross a question. Ross, would you agree with Kent Hovind when he says that we don't understand what light is?
To some degree, yeah. We don't know exactly what it is. Yeah, we can see what it does and how it behaves, but to say what it is,
The reason I ask
personally,
is...
Okay.
Finish.
Go for it. What's the reason you ask?
The reason I ask is because you said that what we call the stars are not actually physical objects. So my question then would be, since what we do know is that light is carried by photons, and that in order to see light, your eye has to be detecting photons. If those stars aren't physical, what's emitting the photons?
Okay, well, that's a good question, and I'm glad you asked. Is that we don't see light until it reaches the firmament, which the firmament is what I think is a lens. A lens separating us, as well, the Bible says, from waters above, from waters below. I don't believe it's actually water necessarily. I believe that it's some sort of
It's
ether
water.
instead.
It's waters.
Good glass of water.
But I don't
The
believe
water.
that the light actually becomes physical light until, as far as the sun's concerned, until
what
it
is
reaches
non-physical
that lens.
light? Have we ever measured non-physical light before?
No, visible light. Visible is what I like to call it.
So what?
Light isn't physical. That's the whole thing. Light is a visual
Light
experience.
is physical.
It's not
No,
physical.
Leo. He said visible light. Visible
non-visible.
light.
Yeah, visible.
Wait, are you
And I
saying
believe
this
that our
one-
atmosphere and the atmospheric gases are the most important elements in what makes light become visible. It turns into visible light
No.
once it reacts. It's a certain energy or frequency that is emanated by the stars and the sun, and when it
Well,
interacts,
we're not in Kansas
and
anymore.
stimulates
Most-
the noble gases of the atmosphere, that is when we see the phenomenon of light. The stars are only very tiny
No.
energy sources, as opposed to the sun, which electrostimulates the whole
Wait, so
atmosphere.
then how do our
giving it
satellites see
light.
the sun?
Okay, so
Because our satellites
Hold on,
outside of the
hold on.
atmosphere, but they see the sun. How do they see the sun?
Satellites?
Yes, we literally have satellites that
He probably
study the
doesn't believe
sun.
in satellites. He probably doesn't believe in them.
That's
I
fine,
don't
but they're
exactly
still
believe in
there.
satellites. I believe the only satellite that we really have that's a true satellite is the moon, and it's still an
I have a
artificial
non-satellite
satellite.
question for you, Ken.
Wow.
This is
But-
crazy.
but
So
they
wait a second.
basically-
Do you believe in any type of scientific things? Like, do you go to the doctor? Do you use a cell phone? Do you
I'm
acknowledge
doing
any
this
of
on a
those
cell
things?
phone. I'm doing this
Okay,
on a cell phone. I don't go to doctors, no.
Okay.
I'm a big believer in
Before we get
physicians.
off topic, I ask Ross a question.
Okay, I'm just curious. All right.
Yeah,
Ross,
but we're talking about the nature of light, and I'm saying that the light only becomes visible light once it has electrostimulated those particular gases.
What's that
in our
noise? Hold on.
atmosphere that turns it into visible light that we can then receive.
Ross, hold
Now,
on just a second.
There is
Ross.
no light beyond that point.
Ross, there's a noise and it's really loud and I can't hear anything he's saying.
I think it's Sam.
Oh, okay.
And in fact, I'm just going to say to everybody, try to keep yourself muted unless you're talking, and yep, just better for the viewers. But yeah, continue. And so what we're going to do, guys, we're going to let Ross and Ogre have a little bit of back and forth for a minute and get their questions out, but then we are going to let Cassie and Mark in. And so back
Swap
to you guys.
me out. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Ross. It's just really hard to understand you, buddy.
So my question to
Yeah, no
Ross,
problem.
and
Someone's making
by the
noise
way,
in background.
thanks for coming in. It's always good to hear these wild theories, right? It's fun.
Conspiracies,
And I love you, Flat Earth Aussie.
We love it.
Yeah. If I create a vacuum without any gases in it, would light not travel through it? Like on Earth, if I make an artificial
I'm having a
vacuum
bit
in
of
like
trouble
a
hearing
tube,
you, but I think I heard what you said. You seem to be breaking up a little bit, but basically what I'm saying is that when we send a camera up in a high altitude balloon and take footage of it, once we go above that certain level, which I previously thought it was called the Kármán line, but I just Googled Kármán line a couple of days ago, and it says that the Kármán line is 62 miles high, whereas these balloons can only go to a height of about 23, 24 miles tops. And what I thought was the Kármán line is where the sky stops glowing blue in the daylight. And so when we go above about 10 to 12 miles, that's where we leave daylight and go into the blackness of so-called space. And but when we send a camera up above that height, we no longer see stars or the moon. And I don't believe that their light even exists unless we're viewing them through those particular gases.
Ross, I'll repeat my question. Yep. If I create a vacuum in a laboratory with no gases in it at all, would light go through it?
I guess, well, no light goes through it. You just
you just said visible light is a response to a reaction to the particles in the atmosphere. So if I create a situation where there is no particle of atmosphere, I would not be able to see visible light through it, right?
No, that's not the case. You just got nothing there to block it. The light is already existing because you're already in the atmosphere.
Well, but I can make
a chamber of nothingness.
Create
if you did it in a dark
light,
room,
can't I?
then no light would pass through it because you've already got the light there in existence in the first place. And if you're using a container like glass or perspex, which you can see through, then you'll still see through it. There's nothing there to block the light, but it doesn't create blackness of something that you can't see through.
So what is the light before it gets to the atmosphere? What is that?
It's a form of energy. I just, to simplify matters, I just call it electromagnetic energy.
So like a different part of the spectrum, like radio waves, gamma waves, something like that. Different frequency.
Like that. Yeah.
So
a type of frequency.
If I take something that creates, say, X-rays, and I shine it through a vacuum, and I shine it not shine it through vacuum. If I take X-rays, shine them through the atmosphere, I get visible light. Is that what you're saying?
Well, X-rays are seeing through something physical, aren't they? They're a different spectrum of light altogether. And if you've got nothing physical there other than the atmosphere, then I don't think you'll see anything more than what's already there.
Maybe I don't want to bogart the conversation. I'm just trying to figure out what the light is before it hits the atmosphere.
Well, let him respond, and we probably need to get Amaretto in.
Yep, that sounds good.
You can see these experiments. People have tubes of different gases like neon, argon, xenon, whatever, krypton. And if you bring that test tube towards an electrostimulative force, like a Tesla coil or something.
They light up. Yeah,
that's just emission spectra. Yeah, that's just emission spectra. That doesn't.
Yeah, and our atmosphere.
You don't need necessarily visible light to do that.
Various layers that
I did also want to say really quickly before we add Amaretto that most of the electromagnetic radiation that the sun emits is emitted in the visible light spectrum, even when it's not shining on the Earth. Visible light electromagnetic radiation can certainly propagate through the vacuum of space. All electromagnetic radiation can propagate through the vacuum of space. And while a medium can reduce the frequency of light, oftentimes it doesn't reduce it from something like an X-ray or to something like visible light.
Well, in that instance, we would never have night. Whichever model you believe in, whether you believe in the spinning space ball or the reality of the flat Earth,
what do you mean
you wouldn't have night if light was still visible.
I'm going to head out to get more people in. Ross, thanks for coming in. It's always a pleasure to hear these things. So. Take care.
Thank you so much, Oker.
Okay.
Peace out.
No, thanks.
This is crazy.
And so we're going to keep on moving down.
Well, I don't even know how you come up with any of these conclusions. I mean, you're just kind of coming up with them. I mean, I guess I could come up with all kinds of ideas but I can't verify them. Like you just have some ideas that you think are correct, but you don't have any way of determining.
I've spent decades watching things like sunrises and sunsets and observing the stars and actually seeing these things for myself now. And because I understand the globe model so well, that's how I can so easily debunk it. Because at sunset, for example, if it's the spin of the Earth going towards the east and it's the curvature of the Earth blocking the sunlight, then we should be instantly plunged into the darkness of the shadow of the Earth, not have this long, drawn-out twilight, which is exactly what we witness due to the sun just wafting away as it does. And so the neon gases and stuff slowly fade, and they can take
Oh, man.
hours to fade. We don't even
Ross,
release it on the
Ross,
bottle.
you probably get
as
this
much as-
question a lot, but like, why are the other planets round? Why is it like round, 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 flat? Why are we special?
Well, we can't see past
Well,
the
for one
firmament,
thing,
correct?
there are no other planets. You see
Exactly,
lights. Now, if
exactly.
you see a
That's what I
truck in the
thought.
far distance, 20 miles away,
Yep.
and you see it's a body covered in lights, but it looks as a single glowing orb of light. It just looks like one light. And so you're going to say that truck is round. But as
Amy,
it
you
gets
opened
nearer
up
and
a
nearer,
can of
so it's got
worms.
two red lights, it's got a whole body of lights. So seeing something in the far, far distance and assuming that it's a round planet.
Oh.
But
It's
it
a
looks
huge
round. Why does everything
Galileo
else look
saw
round?
Jupiter
That's okay.
in,
I
at
still
least for the
heart you.
time, amazing
Ross,
resolution back in
have
like
you
the
ever-
1600s. It wasn't just a ball of light to
Ro-
him. He was
Ross.
capable of discerning between the different bands of gas in
All right, wait a
Jupiter's
minute.
atmosphere. So I fail to see how what you said makes
He
you
saw the
from-
red
at all.
spot.
Are you from Australia? Are you from Australia?
Yes, I'm from Australia.
Okay. Have you ever been to New York City?
No,
How do you know it exists?
I've seen pictures of it.
Wait a
I've seen
minute.
people
We've
that
seen
come from
pictures
New
of the
York.
round Earth.
Wait a minute.
Exactly.
You've seen pictures around Earth, but you don't believe that.
I've
but
got
you
a brother who's been to New York. Does that help?
Okay.
No.
Well,
I know people
what
that have
about
been in space.
what about Tahiti? You ever been to Tahiti? You
I've
ever
been
seen?
to Tahiti.
All right, man. Pick a place that you've never been to that you don't know anybody that's ever been there. How do you explain it?
Well, it makes no difference when places have been documented and we know people
Like
have
the
walked
round
on
Earth.
them. Nobody's been to another planet and walked on them, have they?
Does all knowledge
yeah.
You tell
must
me a
be
planet that
observed?
In
people have
some
been on and
sense,
walked
we
on
actually
and
have
brought
been
back
to another
evidence of it.
planet. We've had two robots that have traversed numerous miles on the surface of Mars. We have one we can literally, like, you could literally go into a lab and control what the robot we currently have on Mars is doing if you wanted to. Yeah, we've been to
Yeah,
other
like
planets.
bullshit on that.
And
That's
we've
just
been to the
like
moon,
science
so-
fiction.
A lot of flat earthers have told me that the planets are actually images. They're just passing
Also,
through the sky.
I did want to say really
Right.
quickly for Ross, the reason that
CGI.
that the vacuum of space
Exactly.
isn't bright
we
is
do need to
because
get
it's
Amaretto
diffuse and there isn't an atmosphere to reflect the
Leo,
light like we
Leo,
see it
you're
in the
way
universe.
too sophisticated. You're
Yeah.
giving way too sophisticated positions on that. Like he's never going to agree with that. So, anyways,
Well,
I don't want to
that's-
bog the conversation.
Well, I'm not
No,
like
no, no.
saying this to make him agree. I'm just saying it to correct the fact that he said something that's incorrect.
Yeah,
I'm
Well,
just
I'm
saying,
just glad that you
Ross,
also
I
agree
think me and
with
you
me,
need to
though,
get
that we
together and
need the
smoke a doobie.
atmosphere
I
in
think
order
we
to
have
have
great
life.
conversations, man.
And okay, we are going to add in Cassie Amaretto. We have been speaking, we have been midnight ranting on the age of the universe among so much more fun. How are you, and what are your thoughts about the debate, the topic, tacos, all the above?
Did you watch the debate? You're on mute.
Oh, you're muted.
I still need to watch the debate. I was out having an early Mother's Day dinner tonight. Yo, how can anybody believe the earth is flat? Like, for real, we have photographic evidence. If if you will believe that places that you haven't seen on the other side of the globe are real
NASA
because
show.
there are photos of them, then why can we not establish that standard for photos of the earth that were taken with live humans from the International Space Station, a live feed that was going on for several years,
Fake.
by NASA from the International Space Station of planet Earth.
Fake. All fake.
Like, it's insane. It's
Ever heard of a fisheye lens?
huh?
Oh, yeah, that's it. Fisheye lens.
Ever heard of a
That's
fisheye lens, a wide angle lens?
There's so many
You
flat
can
earthers.
watch most
It's
of
really
these
sad.
IFS where the horizon
So-
bends up and down.
I'll just say this, like, I don't see the incentive why anybody would try and fake that. And again,
I would.
round planet,
you would. It's far bigger than you would think.
planet, flat Earth doesn't make sense. Scientifically,
It's far bigger than you would think. Of course it makes sense.
Scientifically, though, how? I don't know how
That's the problem.
Earth
They
would
can't
actually.
explain how.
Well,
That's the thing, because
They have no model. Nothing.
because
They
okay,
have
so
nothing.
then like what happens? We what is underneath the Earth then? At one point, it's not really even a flat Earth, really.
liquid goo.
Like,
no, I agree.
I'm just I think that there's
Well, water
definitely
level
some
is-
flaws in that theory. So
Water level is what doesn't lie, and Earth is all the lumpy,
Thank you,
bumpy
Edwin.
bits, which is above sea level. So I agree that Earth isn't flat.
Okay.
Calling it flat is a misnomer. I could prefer the planar Earth, and it's the stationary, the physical bottom of the known
Wait,
universe is how
but
I would describe it.
Earth is a plane. Planes can curve.
Well, no, plane generally means flat.
No, planes can curve. Have you ever heard of differential geometry?
Plane more refers to a surface, not
Well, yeah,
necessarily a
boat gets
flat
up on a
surface.
plane. We describe it as going up above the plane on a flat surface of water.
Except when
water
those
the
surfaces
very
curve.
definition of the planar Earth.
Then they'd be curved planes.
A plane is literally a surface in which if any 2 points are chosen, a straight line joining them lies completely in that surface. But that doesn't mean that it can't curve at all. It just means that there has to be 2 points that
it doesn't mean that
joined.
it does curve either. You know, so,
Listen,
But
water
when they
always
curve,
finds
it's no
its
longer a
level.
line, it's a geodesic.
Water doesn't curve except when it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when it's flowing like a wave or going down a waterfall or something. I understand,
he's
but when
making-
it's
he's-
sitting in
Or
a
the
container,
ocean.
I like that music video.
the higher edges all around. Just because
you
you
know
can't
what-
see the other edge doesn't mean that it's below you, like thousands of miles below you, and that water has a 1,000-mile high bump between you and the other edge. It makes no sense.
Russ,
So wait a
do you know what surface tension is?
This is
Absolutely,
like-
yeah. You see it on very small
Yeah,
examples.
we've seen
surface tension.
water curve because of surface temperature, surface tension.
Like a drop, yeah, of course, a droplet.
But wait a second.
Tiny droplet. Yes.
This subject is never going to be settled on these, like, what about this and what about this? The bigger issue is, do you live in the world and do you use a car at all? Do you ever been on a car? You ever been in a car? Have you ever taken any medicine whatsoever? Have you ever used a computer? Like any of those things?
Oh, drink
I mean,
break.
I mean,
That's okay.
they're
Let's
benefiting.
stick with
They're
a
drinking
sensible
beer.
question,
That's
shall we?
actually science as well.
Have you ever taken any Have you ever taken medicine? Like, what about antibiotics? You ever taken
Oh,
antibiotics?
very rarely.
Penicillin.
You've taken penicillin.
Very rarely. I'm not a big fan of big pharma medicine.
Does
Have you ever
Big
watched
pharma-
Okay.
pornographic videos?
Why do you
It
take
turned me right off.
Why do you take penicillin though? Why would you do that?
I don't.
You never.
I don't.
Okay. What about
I
any
avoid penicillin. I avoid modern pharmacology. It's all poison.
So
Oh,
wait,
I don't
when
touch
you
the stuff.
get sick, do you just utilize an amethyst crystal as a suppository to become an 8th octave of the sun, or
Listen.
like, so what do you do?
Listen,
Yeah.
listen. I'm
Oh, here's
telling
a
you
whole
what,
cluster
my
of them.
orbs are cooler than some forms of medication, and let me tell you what, this doesn't cost me $400 a bottle. But in all seriousness, in all seriousness, though, modern pharmacology still has basis in natural, older homeopathic medicines. It's just homeopathic is kind of going off the rails into bullshit levels. But natural medication. This is like trademark. Like there's patents on stuff from the major pharmaceutical companies on marijuana and stuff like that already as well. It all has a basis in that. But it's the only thing. Like medicine is not the problem. The problem with modern pharmacology is the fact that it's profit driven and that they're marketing, like here in America, this is the reason why we have drug commercials and stuff like that. Also, the pharmaceutical companies have like kickback programs with the HMOs and stuff like that, and it all kind of feeds into one another. So that's the problem with modern pharmacology. It's not that there's necessarily anything wrong with the medication. Like I would not be able to survive. I have rheumatoid arthritis. I have mental health stuff. I would not be able to function without modern pharmacology. So for someone you eat, like even me, where I do believe and I do practice some, spiritual, metaphysical, other beliefs, it's still important to have a good grasp that science is not the enemy. Like progress and knowledge and education are not the enemy. And that's the thing that really irks me. And this is what I tell people. It's like, I'm okay with hanging out with the atheist corner because at least we can agree on that. And that's like the baseline. I don't understand how anybody
disagree with you vehemently on that matter, because way back in the 70s, Nixon was dead set against the hippies smoking their marijuana and stuff. And so he had some extensive studies done on people who used cannabis for various things. And what they found is that they actually found it cured cancer. And now we've been going for decades of huge fundraising, people
This is like
getting
an
killed by
emotional
the
roller
modern
coaster.
methods of treating cancer when they've known for decades how to actually cure it, and they've suppressed it.
Cure
They've turned it
cancer.
into a class 1 narcotic because he was so angry at the results of what
Yeah.
they found when he just wanted
It was-
to try and have it.
Let me ask
If
you
that cured cancer, then cancer rates would
Can
be
I-
like at
I would
1% of
push-
what they
Well,
are.
no. Here's the
Shit is
thing.
wild.
It
Well,
would.
people
Well,
are
here's the
curing cancer
thing.
with it today.
No, they're not. There's
Well,
no
hold on a
evidence for that.
This is nuts.
Why would they suppress it? Why would they suppress it if it cured cancer?
Because
I am
NASA's a
like one of
shill.
the biggest
Nick,
cancer
I think
advocates
people
out there.
They say
there is a
because
theory
they
that
make
it's
more
because
money
it's
treating
profits. Yes,
Wanted to
it's
They make more
profit
money to
based.
treat it than to cure it.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. The reason people get cancer now is because we started fluorinating water. When we started fluorinating water, and the average human life expectancy went from 34 years old to I think it's now about 84 years old. We started living longer, so we started suffering diseases we hadn't gotten before. That's what created the boom in biotech. Every time we have human beings live longer, you know what that creates? That creates more customers for biotech because we're living longer and we're producing faster. So under no economic model whatsoever can it possibly be said that treating cancer actually generates more money than curing it. If you cure it, you have more human beings, and that's what it is, the explosion in the human population created by antibiotics, fluorination, refrigeration, all these other techniques that we have used to extend the human lifespan. Every single one of them generates more revenue rapidly than suppressing or holding these. That
The biggest
economic
one of those
model
And we got
things
it all
that
from the
anyone would
Bible.
agree with it is plumbing. Is water supply, clean water and decent plumbing to get rid of sewage, because most diseases were carried in sewer water, which a lot of people were using for their cooking water or bathing water or whatever. But once they eliminated all that, they virtually got rid of 99% of the diseases, which they had to bring back via vaccinations. And
It was
I
all
mean,
people
listen,
bathing
if that was the
in
case,
shit water.
like if that was the case though, then you wouldn't have like that freaking brain-eating amoeba in fresh water. Like that's not something that is something from sewage that populates in fresh water. That's just heated up. Like that's the thing. Like even taking the sewage water out of the equation, there's still so many viruses and bacteria, and if anything, globalization has kind of increased, where we're seeing, certain things pop up now. And also, unfortunately, anti-vaccination movements as well. So
I'd say the likelihood of those diseases that you're talking about are more likely to have come about from contaminated food products, usually
Where's your
associated
proof
with
of
dead
that?
animals,
Where's your
like
proof of
pork
that?
and beef and whatnot.
Where's
and
your
to say
proof
it
of
came from
that?
the water supply.
Do we still have Mark back there, Amy?
Yes, but I want to just put an asterisk and then I'll add it and then we'll add in Mark, because as I'm a big marijuana advocate,
Woohoo, me too.
and I think there is a lot of good use that could come out of it, but it's specifically for either for introspection reasons or for, I would say, when it comes to cancer, it treats the lack of hunger. It treats
The side effects of the chemo.
we have an endocannabinoid system.
So there's actually a ton of good that can come from it, and so my thing would say we don't have to call it the miracle claim, because if we call it I worry, and I'm not saying you were, I'm saying that I worry if do push the miracle claim, people will then think that there's no benefits, and I see a massive amount of benefits from cannabis, and I want and for
But it's
those
not
reasons
magic.
are why I would want it. Nothing's magic, and everything has side effects and diminishing returns. You shouldn't, just like sugar, and I think sugar, if we reclassified it now, would be classified as a drug.
I think you're actually talking about the most simplistic use of marijuana, though, or cannabis, as opposed to the medicinal use of it. Like, yes, sure enough, if you smoke it, it can re-stimulate your appetite, it can help numb pain and so forth, and it is very great for being able to see outside the box. But I forget the name off the top of my head because I've never personally gotten right into it, because I've avoided cancer all my life simply because I've avoided big pharmaceuticals altogether. I avoid vaccinations, and I believe in a healthy diet as being the main important ingredient to prevent cancer in the first place. Filter the shit out
The
of your
beard
water.
must have something to do with it.
They put into it deliberately, especially fluoride and chlorine. And basically, the cannabinoids are usually the thing on the oil level when they make
Fluoride
cannabinoid
is
extract.
good. What is the thing with fluoride?
Is what generally is the cancer cure that
It stops tooth decay, I guess. I mean, I don't know what.
I mean, listen, there's a reason we're not British.
Oh my god.
Can I speak to this really quickly? Because the whole cannabis cures cancer is not really accurate. There's been a number of studies that have shown, at least in rats, that high amounts of the cannabinoids in cannabis do have pro-apoptotic and anti-angiogenic effects in terms of cancer. So apoptosis is the process by which cells die, like the cells that need to die, they die. And cancer is, at least very, very simplistically, the result of cells that are supposed to die but mutate, and so they don't die, and then they start to reproduce more cells that are sort of undead. I mean, cancer you can sort of think of as undead cells, which is really, really contrived language,
And
but
then
it makes the
they
point that
spread.
that's what a cancerous cell is, and as it continues to reproduce. And so what happens is your body will actually form blood vessels, and that's what angiogenesis is, the process of blood vessels forming. Your body will actually form blood vessels to that tumor. And so it's anti-angiogenic in that it can cut off the formation of blood vessels, and it's pro-apoptotic in that it promotes the death of those cells that need to die. But to say that it cures cancer from a particularly medicinal perspective or medical perspective is just a major, major, major stretch of the research.
Okay, well, to compare us to rats, I think is, first of all,
After this, we should probably get marked in.
I didn't compare us to rats.
It's not what he said at all.
Well, you did, because you said the
No, I
studies were
didn't.
done at least in rats, and then you try to compare it to how it
Not what he
behaves in
said.
Well,
humans.
no, what I said is
You
that the
don't
studies were done on
live
rats,
on
and then I
top of
explained
what
the results of those studies. And there's a reason why we do studies on rats, because the things that happen to them are likely things that are going to happen to us. We're not going to test on things if the ways that they affect those things that we're testing on
that's not my
aren't going to
argument.
translate
My
in some
argument
way,
is-
shape, or form to us. Why would we do that? That makes no sense.
My argument is that the very concept of cancer is so completely misunderstood. It's because we live on such shit diets.
Misunderstood by who?
Is that our body starts to, it can't handle the huge influx. We often stuff it with 3 meals, sometimes more per day.
Can you tell me who's misunderstanding what cancer is?
More if possible.
You said something about people misunderstanding cancer. Who is it that misunderstands cancer?
It's the doctors.
Because you're taking in another meal. What you're doing is your body is going into emergency mode and says, I've got another big load of toxins to have to deal with.
Another meal, Bird. Bring it out.
I'm going to go and shove these other
Well,
toxins.
that beer you
into
were
some
drinking looks like a lot of
isolated place where I
toxins.
can deal with them later. And that is how a tumor develops. If you keep on feeding your body full of crap, toxins and shit,
Keep cooking,
then it
Amy.
doesn't get a chance to eliminate them.
Make that bacon.
So start developing tumors. And the more you keep stuffing yourself, the more your body
But
keeps getting
offer
bigger
part of it as a sacrifice to God.
until you give it the opportunity to heal itself, which is its natural state. And you reach that natural state by stopping putting in.
Are you
going
to answer my question now?
We'll make an offering to Leophilius, a burnt offering, because he likes that.
You need your meds up.
You've now eliminated that safe spot your body had to store
Are you
these
gonna answer
toxins,
my question?
and naturally the cancer starts spreading throughout your whole body. But
This
if you
is nuts.
stop taking
Are
these toxins,
Hey,
and
answer
start
his
putting in
question,
the
Ross.
good
Come
stuff
on.
that allows your
Are you
body
gonna
to
answer my
heal, which
question,
is
Ross?
Your
involved
ranting
in-
is of no value.
Ross.
Answer his question.
Poor Mark, he's
So,
been waiting.
guys,
Yeah,
the
let Mark
answer.
in.
You don't
We're
have a
gonna
question.
both-
You were trying to explain to me how tumors in rats don't heal themselves because of experiments you've
They
done
don't.
in a laboratory. I'm
The
talking
answer
about
is
in the real
trans
world.
rights are human
I'm-
rights. Let's
And the
let
Nobel
Amy
Prize
guys,
goes
let's
to
let Amy
Roger.
bring
Ross has said
guys.
anyway.
Let Amy.
Yeah,
bring
please.
Mark
We'll
in.
go back into open conversation. I like the back and forth. We're getting fun. We're
The
having
whales have a
fun. Little bit of
15-foot
both.
penis.
I know. Or a 15-foot Bauer DVD, Seminar 1. Seminar 1 explains it. If it wasn't that, Seminar 3. Okay, Ed, Mark, we have been Midnight Ranting on the age of the universe. I'm starting to question if reality is real.
I think Mark is too
Oh,
from the look on his face.
Mark, you
Oh,
share
wow.
a country with that guy.
I know.
We're in the Twilight Zone.
Hello, Ross. How you doing, my friend?
Two
Hello,
ends of
everybody.
Australia.
Good to see you. G'day, mate.
G'day, mate.
So, yeah, nice.
Where do you start?
I've got so many questions for Ross. Like, seriously, Ross, have you ever lived in the bush?
I haven't.
Have I what?
Have you ever lived in the bush? Like, he knows what I mean. Like out in the country. Kind of
I'm
thing.
living there right now.
Okay. So how
I'm
do you
here
get
right now.
internet in the
I'm
bush?
out in the bush.
What are the couple of ways to get internet in the bush?
I've got a mobile internet device now called the Nighthawk. It's very modern.
And what's the other way to get internet in the bush?
Steal somebody's Wi-Fi. I don't know.
Satellite internet. Surely you're aware of that, having lived in the bush. Yeah, satellite internet.
Well, actually, where I work and travel in the Northern Rivers, quite often, if we go up, say, the back of Mullumbimby, up into the mountains, and these mountains, they're much closer to satellites, obviously, I'd lose my internet connection. In fact, I'd lose phone connection because we're too far away from a tower. So
your mobile
how could you say a satellite in the sky is what's responsible for internet?
Yeah, so you do know that
it's all
mobile connections and satellite connections are different, right? You do know that, right? That
your
mobile
satellite's wobbling a bit
connections
too
use a
much.
mobile network and mobile towers, while satellite connections use satellite connections and satellites. I used to work for one of the big internet companies in Australia, and part of my job when faced with a satellite customer was to realign the satellites and talk with the technicians who are aligning the satellites. The base stations used to be at Broken Hill and Kalgoorlie because those two locations have minimal cloud cover.
Sounds like you're playing an organ or something.
What do you mean?
I can
Is
hear him
everybody else
just
hearing
fine.
him?
I hear him just fine.
Unless,
Yeah, your
unless
audio
Bird
is
is playing, but I don't hear it.
Yeah, your audio is just fine on my end.
No, I'm not doing anything.
I'm glad
No.
to hear that. Yeah,
Just because you play.
I'm not hearing anything.
Oh.
So, like, I've
When Mark
dealt with
talks, it's breaking
satellite.
up.
I'm breaking up.
No. You're fine. Go ahead. Mark.
We hear you.
Okay,
Go ahead.
You're good.
So the other thing was, like you said, long drawn out sunsets and stuff. And I realized that under your model, there has to be something to stop the sun from shining in the night, kind of thing. So if you've got a light above a round disc, there's nowhere on that disc, even if it's dark in nighttime, that you wouldn't see the sun. It's a problem with the flat Earth model. It's a huge problem. It's not a problem with the globe model because night is caused by the sun, the light being blocked by a solid object, in this case, the globe itself, when you're on the other side. Now, when you said, but look at the long drawn out sunsets, yeah, as the sun set, it's got more atmosphere to travel through because of the way that on a globe, if you're going across the top, you've obviously got a huge amount of atmosphere to go through than directly on. There's a lot less. So that and diffusal of light is what causes the sunset to seem like it takes a long time. And if you've seen
I can
so
just stop
many,
you for 1 second, Mark.
Yeah, sure.
Everything that you said before, because on a globe, it didn't come through to me at all. All I got was this musical up and down ding dong stuff. I was getting nothing at all.
It's
you
not.
sound
You seem to be improved now.
You sound fine, Mark.
Yeah, it's not happening this side, so it may be something local to your connection, something on your
Well, it
computer
could be
in the
because I'm on
background.
a mobile broadband.
I mean, mobile broadband shouldn't
It's in my
automatically
background.
cause any kind of music. It may be something in your background. But
The
what I was
flat Earth is blocking his signal.
well, yeah, okay.
There is a few trees.
So I realize on a flat Earth that it's a huge problem that if you're on a flat Earth and the sun's rotating around it like a stirring pot, like sort of the flat Earth model says, even at nighttime, you still should be able to see that sun.
Exactly.
Like if you're in the darkness and it's over here, you still should be able to see that. So
Clearly.
to me, it sounds like you've come up with an ad hoc explanation to sort of say, okay, I'm going to add this wild theory about, or wild hypothesis about gas being needed to start the light in order to sort of explain that away. But the problem is that you've got no evidence to
Explain that away or just explain it.
Explain it away.
It's just
Explain it
explaining
away. Because no. When you explain it, you explain the actual processes that cause it. You have, okay, this is what causes it. This is how we know what causes it. These are the factors that we can change to demonstrate what causes it. And you're not doing that. What you're saying is, hey, this random thing, that is an explanation and it's sufficient.
Oh,
so
mate.
therefore it's true. It not only has to be sufficient,
nothing
you have
random.
to. Well,
There's
to us,
nothing
it
random
seems
about what we know about the gases of the universe. When
No,
we
we
send a
don't.
camera
This.
up on a helium
You are
balloon, we
claiming
can
this
see
without any evidence.
reality as it exists. This is something that the ancients didn't have the
We
opportunity to
don't
have.
see
The advantage
reality
that
as
we
it
have
is.
today, sending the camera up very high to see reality as it is.
Oh
And
my
what
If
we
you
God.
have
see
lived
is
in
the flat
Australia,
level
you
rise.
have
We
seen
see
a
the
mirage on the road.
gas
Have you seen a
in the
mirage on the
darkness of
road?
space.
Have you seen a mirage on the road?
Of course, it's a heat mirage. That's what heat
Yeah,
does. Heat
but
distorts
it
the light.
looks like
It
water,
burns you from
correct?
something, makes it look like water. So what? So what?
Well, we don't
That's the
see.
road.
Yeah, but we don't see things as they are. To us,
Actually,
it looks
it's
like
water.
It looks like water.
Water.
Water. And it's not water. We don't see things as it is. And we know this to be the case, that our senses are true for a given value of true. They can be fooled. Optical
Right.
illusions exist. So we do not see things as
Okay,
they
well,
are. It requires
what-
more than just our physical senses. Now,
So what's your point? So you're saying that when I describe it,
Mhm.
it's just random made up stuff.
Yes.
When these
Well,
are
it
actually
seems
things that we
arbitrary,
know.
yeah.
We know about the troposphere, the ionosphere, and I even heard about the homosphere and
No,
the
we don't
the-
know that. You're
the
claiming that without
heterosphere.
any evidence of it, because you've got
gases
to
above it.
you've got to address the problem of the sun being visible from anywhere on a flat plane. You've got to address that.
You're not addressing the problem because you don't understand how
What
big
problem?
the Earth actually is.
How? Oh, wait, no, hold on, everybody, hold on. Ross, what is the diameter of the flat Earth?
You're breaking up. Doesn't help me understand what you're saying. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So you don't know. The point that Mark is getting at is we could make the diameter of the Earth literally 500,000 miles and put the sun on one end, and you would still plainly see it. Plainly see it. There would be no change in its brightness on a flat Earth. We could put the sun literally
so you don't
trillions of
understand.
miles away, and you would still see it. In fact, we can see stars that are dimmer than the sun from trillions of miles away. So how is it? There's no way that you could deny that we can measure the amount of electromagnetic radiation that the sun emits. And given that the amount that it emits, we can calculate what the diameter of a flat Earth would have to be before you could put the Earth, or rather the sun, so far away that it would be nighttime outside. And unless you're willing to argue that the diameter of the Earth is trillions of miles.
You got no comprehension of the scale that we're dealing with. You know, when we're talking about the scale of things, when we're talking about something only, perhaps no more than 70 miles high above us, 70 miles on the surface is nothing. It's not even a blip on the map when you zoom out on Google Maps. It's a tiny little dot on a map. So the Earth is that very big. So when you're talking about something 1,000 miles away and you think you can still see it, you've got no idea how.
We can't.
Hold on. Are you saying that because the sun is like a small object, we can put it far away and you won't see it? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think my server's breaking up a lot here. I must be out of data.
I'm just trying to understand, because it seemed to me that he was saying that the sun would be something smaller than the Earth. And so, the thing is, the size of the sun is not at all relevant here. It's its luminosity. It doesn't matter what its size is. You can make it as big as you want or as small as you want. I don't care. What matters is its luminosity. We know what the luminosity of the sun is. Nobody can deny that. We can freaking measure it.
They can deny it. They can deny anything.
Something bright enough to give you sunburn during the day and literally hurt your eyes has got to be seen at night under the flat Earth sort of, it's a torch going around. It's got to be seen that bright. It has to be.
Yeah.
Unless, as Leo says,
everything's coming through that you guys are saying very jumpy. I'm just going to have to jump out of this conversation and we'll do it another time.
I'm not having any problems.
Kind of things when I can't hear you.
You're actually clear to me, Ross. I'm not sure what's happening, mate, but you're
clear to me.
actually...
We hear you crystal clear.
That I used up my data with the server this
You have
morning.
headphones you can put on,
And I
Ross?
only got like 60 gigs.
I think we have somebody else to bring in,
Apparently
though,
my
Amy.
upload speed is
Ross, do you have headphones you
down.
can put on? Do you have headphones?
You have beer?
All right, here you go.
I'll take a beer.
Wow,
You know what? That's disappointing.
Send it on over, Oz.
I had so many more questions. I've got a list of them here. Like the fact that when he refers to an airplane, he doesn't realize that the plane is the wing that is, used to cause lift. It's not to do with its alignment with the Earth. I find it incredible that his idea of disease is so. I mean, I hate to use the word medieval, but it's
if the shoe fits.
Yeah, duck, man.
Lord of the Rings ish. Lord of the Rings.
Well, I really wanted to get onto
He's
sort of with fluoride and chlorine in the water, and he's right. We do that in Australia because we have very little water.
Water.
Man. We use it for purification because we actually recycle wastewater and stuff, which you might at first say gross, but it's necessary. We've got so little water over here. It's a necessity that everybody sort of grows
It ought to be done.
You worked on that Martian movie.
You can't even have a conversation with a guy like that. Seriously.
You really can't. I did want to say, Mark, if I interrupted the discussion you were having with him, I'm really, really sorry. But I did find it funny when I asked him a direct question. What is the diameter of the flat Earth? You're breaking up.
Dude, you're breaking up, Leo.
Well, the thing is we're trying to logic with him.
I'm sorry, there's something.
We're trying to logic with somebody that is not logical, so there's really no point because you're not going to get through, and he's not going to be anything logical. So
you can't reason with an unreasonable individual.
Exactly.
But you can create that sort of cognitive dissonance. If not for him, then maybe somebody else that is watching that goes, okay, I can't hold these two ideas in my head.
Yeah. That's batshit crazy.
Yeah, I can't hold in my head anymore
that's John Maddox level bullshit.
Yeah, but the light is bright enough to hurt my eyes during the day and,
literally
burn your skin.
Literally burn your skin. And
dude, there are people that can cook eggs. There are literally people that can take a pan, put it on an asphalt, and literally cook a fucking egg fully. But it's really small, and if it goes far away,
but global warming is a myth, Leo. Climate change is not real.
To be trust your eyes and don't trust your eyes. Sometimes you need to really trust your eyes. Like it looks flat, and then other times it's like, well, it looks like a ball of the sky, but what do your eyes know? And it's like,
I did also want to speak to something.
Fisheye lens, Amy, but your eyes are round too. Your eyes are fisheye lenses.
I feel like everybody in here has probably experienced this, that moment when you're having a discussion with somebody and you say something and you can just either see or hear or detect the dissonance. That they just blank robot stare, they don't know what the fuck to do.
So I was trying.
Interesting moment.
Wait a minute. Let me just say one thing. I was trying to be.
Do we still have Oz back there, Amy?
Yep. So Jason will
I'll be
let
quiet.
Say, and then you
finish your point.
Forget it by the time you come back.
All right, just very briefly.
Cheers.
What I was going to say is that I was trying to lead this guy to say what does he actually. How does he interact with the world? Does he drive a car? Does he use medicine? Does he use a computer?
Does he go to Pornhub?
He's using a mobile phone. I mean,
exactly. If he uses a mobile phone has an extensive amount of scientific knowledge that has went in to create that. So if you're using a mobile phone, you in some way are implicitly acknowledging that those things work. So those things work for your phone, but these other things don't work. How can you reconcile
a phone that has GPS location on it?
Just like what Mark was doing. He was trying to lead him down that path, but
Nathan Thompson called ground.
ground positioning system. Yeah.
So Ross is actually back. I'm gonna let him in, but Ross, before you comment again, we're gonna let Oz in.
You can rotate me out so you can let them both in.
Yeah, and then we're gonna let Pat out so I can eat a sandwich. Woohoo!
Hello.
So Ross, we're gonna let you in, but before we go back into the open conversation, we're actually gonna do Oz. We have been midnight ranting on the age of the universe. How are you?
Of the universe.
And what are your thoughts for the night? Or what the debate, the topic, or anything we've been talking about?
Can you get? Am I?
Yes.
Can you hear? Am I?
I mean, clearly,
perfectly.
He's doing that on purpose, everybody.
Yeah. Don't worry, it's not your sound.
Bird, why
Please do not adjust your headphones.
Bird, why are you always snitching, bro? Why are you always?
What are you talking about?
You was a snitch, dude.
How am I a snitch?
Nobody else needed to know that my mic and headphones work perfectly fine.
Yeah.
No, it's a good to be here. I did get to watch most of the debate tonight, and it was the typical Hovey bullshit. And I thought the other guy, as much as you could read it on his face, that he wanted to dig his heels in an attack. He didn't do it. It was cool to see. So, but this conversation so far, I'm wondering if there's a lot of things that are real, like Atlantis, and like I'm so, my mind is blown right now. So we get back into the comment, but before we do, I just Amy, I want you to know one thing.
FOCUS. What does that spell?
Darth, not what I think you think it does.
In your reply when you were live with him, fuck.
Fuck.
No, but as always, Amy and James and everyone, thanks for having me, and a shout out to my little flower.
Aw,
be nice.
Well,
to the
thank
flower.
you so very much, Oz. And okay, I think Ross dropped again. I guess maybe he's still having connection problems, but that's okay. We are gonna add in Pat. Pat, we have been midnight ranting on the age of the universe. How are you? And what are your thoughts about any debate or anything we've been talking about tonight?
Well, that kind of sucks because I was just going to wait backstage as I was writing. But yeah, no, I thought it was a decent debate. I tried not to actually I just listened to it. I didn't want to interact with anybody on it. And I'm on my tablet right now, so it's not as good. But yeah, I think it's interesting that when, a mountain of science, and then you have like a nugget of conjecture from people, the nugget people think that they have the right to look at the mountain and scoff. But if we were to use the same evaluation over anything they say, we are we're the antagonistic people. We're not enlightened. We're not inclusive. But, to basically denigrate, the last 300-400 years of modern scientific development, and then say things like, food causes cancer and vaccines, don't work, or whatever, naysayer you want to do. When you challenge someone on that, you're not being nice and you're hurting people's feelings. So I just think if this is the future of our species, we're doomed, because the ignorance is going to outweigh the enlightenment, and we're just going to be beating people with rocks and sticks again. That's all I have to say.
Well, Pat, you're in luck, because I'm ready to go. Ready to throw my stones.
I did try to mess with Cass a little bit. She has quite a bit of reading she should be working on in her free time. She has no time to be on YouTube. So
Well, I should be coding right now, so she's not the only one.
Shouldn't we all?
That's what I should be. Should be coding and graphic designing and homeworking.
And
But
if
that's
I
okay.
if I could say something real quick to
Nice cuckoo.
Thanks. That's my cuckoo clock.
That's
Um,
me.
I'm gonna mute.
Would never have guessed. Would
because
never.
Sunflower and I do go back and forth, as everyone knows. But I did on Atheist Junior's channel today. Sunflower played like a segment or a bit of his music, and I'm a musician myself and a songwriter myself. And Sunflower, I do want to give you a shout out because I heard that today, and you're talented, man. You have a big gift and a big talent there. So I did want to shout you out and say that I thought that was awesome.
Oh,
well done, Sunflower. I've never heard it. Does Sunflower have a link?
Oh my lord!
Where's Peter on your soundboard when you need him?
No, but for real, I'm not being a smartass at all. I happen to be cooking lunch for my kids and listening to Atheist Junior's stream, and he asked him if he could do it, and I was impressed. As like I said, songwriter, musician myself, I was very much impressed by his ability.
Well, I have no musical affinity, so I always respect people that do, because of my I got all the musical affinity of a 10-thumbed wombat, like it's terrible. So
do drunken karaoke.
I think anyone can do drunken karaoke. Not to take away from
Never
your
said no one
accomplishments
could.
or anything.
And Sunflower, if you do have a link for any music or anything, I think you should put it in there so people can hear you. But if and I hope this doesn't upset Sunflower, because I'll give a comparison as far as what I felt like I heard. I felt like I heard a blend of Nine Inch Nails and Johnny Cash.
Huh.
It was a really cool, unique blend of Johnny.
Sounds like an interesting
That band
one.
should cover each other. But I am. Speaking of covering, I don't know how I could transition from that. Speaking of covering bands, all right, everyone, we're all going to be on our best behavior for the people that disagree. And we're going to go for probably another 30 more minutes. I am going to. Oh, dun, dun, dun. Who do we lose? So we lost somebody. Did Russ? I was about to add Russ, and then the person and Russ. Okay, never mind. He's trying to join from the bush. I'm learning slang today. Is that what they call it?
Yeah, country Australia is the bush.
Yeah, that damn
that's
code
like our
is
Bible
different
belt.
with this signal.
You get bad signal to Middle Earth. Middle Earth's got bad Wi-Fi.
Damn.
Hey,
Sorry.
here's a question for Ross, if he can hear this. Can you see the North Star? There's not a flat Earth, buddy. Sorry.
Like, these are all things that, like, he's going to have a position for that is, like, nonsensical.
Yes,
so
I know.
You actually have to be like, look, man, do you use this? Do you do that? Like, I don't understand. Why do you use a cell phone and you don't do these other things? Like, why? Like, how does a cell phone work? Like, he's going to be like, I don't know how a cell phone works. Like, if you don't know how a cell phone works, but you use it, then you acknowledge that you use some things that you agree that science has constructed, and you agree with that those are valid methods to construct that thing you're using.
Jason,
I know,
you're
maybe-
a NASA shill. You're just shilling for the government that you
Right.
love.
That's me. Yeah,
Going into space, doing the
Cell
space
phones
thing.
are magic boxes.
I work
that
for
allow us
NASA.
to communicate. So
I work
you
for
know,
NASA. Sorry.
it's unknowable technology. It's a mystery. I punch numbers in and I talk to you.
I get
don't know
paid by NASA every year.
I don't know why you have to be a disseminator of disinformation on behalf of the government.
I know. You god darn academics in your ivory tower getting paid by the government.
But is it a cell phone ivory
Disgusting.
tower?
All right,
It's also, isn't it amazing how we achieve secretly world peace? That's what I like the best, is that all the world governments are working together to pull big roundness.
So that we all can go on Pornhub no matter where you are in the world.
Gotta do my
Oh, come on,
shit,
Ross.
Leaks.
Don't
Gotta
don't
do
start
my
calling people names, mate. Like seriously. There's no call for that. We're all, relatively.
And yes, we are, Ross. We can see chat. Hey.
Yeah.
Some of us because of GPS. I don't know why I'm doing this when I say
Ground
that.
ground positioning? Is that ground positioning?
I think
From
it's a
Nathan
gopher
Hobson?
positioning system. Actually, it uses.
Oh, maybe it's
small
underground.
mammals to maybe, yeah.
Look it up, bro.
Yeah, bro. I
Look
love
up,
the
bro.
bro-levers. I love the bro-levers who are sort of like, I believe this, bro. And as soon as they start to get on the back foot, it's all, dude, bro. Like they're in some kind of.
No, Amy. You look it
What
up, dude.
I like about Nathan is he looks offended and he wants to offend you at the same time. It's this rare, to believe in
Like calling
data
Mr.
from
Batman
the
ma'am.
government. It's like, okay.
It's like calling Mr. Batman madam.
Sir, do you know what the law of identity is, sir?
No, ma'am.
All right. I gotta go, people. I probably got some work to do.
Oh,
and
bye,
stuff
Mom.
like
Thank
that,
you.
so I'm
Thanks
gonna
for coming
I'm
on,
gonna
Mark.
Check out.
Would you
thank
like to have
I'm
any final words, Mark?
No, that's fine. I just would like you not to know that not all Australians like Ken Ham, and
It was nice to see you try to talk some sense into him.
it's just there is a progressive, scientifically enlightened section of Australia. It's just that's not the part that generally you people see. So it
Not in
does
the bush?
exist. Not in the bush, yeah, not in the bush. No, it's Queensland. Queensland's like our Florida. It's crazy. Yeah, it's terrible.
Well, shout out from Florida.
Shout out. All right, guys. Well, you take care. See you
Have
later.
a good night, man. Thanks.
No, bud.
Later.
And okay,
Later, Hosen.
we'll probably go for another 15 minutes, and then we'll start outros ourselves. It's been a fun journey. We've
grab
went
your
from
curious
the beginning
girdles.
of the universe all the way from a flat Earth and back.
And we just read last night about Aaron Ra getting his girdle.
Yes, and his bonnet.
I don't know what that means.
Well, you haven't read the Book of Exodus, apparently.
Apparently, they made priestly robes, and they had to be very specific gold and fine linen priestly robes, and
stones and diamonds and onyx and agate, shittim wood.
God's a fashionista.
Aaron Ra and his sons too.
And his sons, apparently. I
Yeah.
don't know why.
Why they were in the Bible, but hey.
But okay, guys, we've been
Anything
talking
else on your
Age of the
notepad, Amy?
Universe. Yeah, let's talk about. Let's see.
Anything else?
Can't never seen a star form. I taught trig for years.
Now that you
20
mentioned that, I had a link. I need to pull it back up. I had a link that I wanted to share with everybody on
Absolutely.
watching stars form. It's from PBS Nova.
Oh,
and
you
it
mean the
talks
thing that's
about-
never happened?
Apparently not.
Can't trust the government. PBS is just government
He made a
indoctrination.
claim
Misinformation.
that was very close to a flat earther claim, which was we can't tell anything from 6 months ago, which was like, what? Like, these are Matrix level claims, and they sometimes they say them so fast that I feel like you could miss them, but they are dramatic claims.
Well, Amy, you get the protractor and you try to calculate the distance between those angles. You can never do that. You can never make that calculation.
You know what? That was something else funny that he said. That he indicated that because the distance between these angles would be so small that it kind of means nothing. Well, the mass of the electron is billions upon billions of times smaller than a gram. Does that mean that it's like meaningless and that we still
Means it's
can't
fake.
measure it?
Means
No,
it's fake.
we can still measure it.
No, it's fake, Leo. You don't know. It's fake. You can't see it with your. You can't see it with your eye. That
love
means
a
it's fake.
debate with Kent Hovind.
That would be
Specifically this
really
subject.
good. to watch
I
you
almost
and
did.
Kent go at it. Yeah,
I was surprised
have a
by
debate.
how
I
much
mean, by
he
go at
actually
it.
used the Bible in the debate. Like that was he did
He
try
can't
at
help
some
himself.
points use science. Really, he only used science hardcore the one time when I asked him about the Earth, and he went hardcore Kent's seminar version 1. But other than that, it was bibble, bibble, bibble. That
He
was
can't
like
help
all his
himself.
arguments.
For the Bible tells me so.
The Bible tells so. No one knows what light is. Want
You know
to
what?
act like animals.
We never mentioned the speed of light in this discussion, did we?
Not really.
We didn't really talk about it much, you know.
Yeah. Even though Kent Hovind brought that up about, like, we don't know if the speed of light has changed.
He misunderstands intentionally that it was sped up, but he's distorting that claim.
That's not the case. There are very good reasons.
Internal
why
mechanics of light
that you can't go faster than the speed of. Well, it's more the structure of space-time than it is what electromagnetic radiation is, and that's what the main. That's how we can derive the most accurate calculations for what the speed of light is generally what you'll see in special relativity is that the speed of light is c is equal to 1 over the square root of epsilon naught mu naught, which are two constants. Epsilon naught refers to what's often referred to as the electric permittivity of space-time, which is the ability of just the bare vacuum of space to permit electric field lines. And then mu naught is the magnetic permeability of space-time, which is the ability of a magnetic field or magnetic field lines to permeate through space-time. And so essentially what this tells us is the speed of light, or the rate at which electromagnetic radiation propagates through the electromagnetic field is equal to 1 divided by the square root of those two constants put together. So it's equal to essentially the structure of space-time. And that number happens to be 299,792,458 meters per second, or roughly 300,000 kilometers per second, or 186,000 miles per second.
Is this going to be on the test? I didn't take notes.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You know, one time I was driving my car and I got up to about 130 miles an hour.
It's pretty fast.
You have a car?
Fuck you, bird.
So if the whales have a 15-foot penis, how many of those could it transverse in one second if it was going the speed of light?
14 million.
How many 15s does it take to get to 186,000?
There you go.
I'm imagining that's how the whale gets around. Like they don't actually use their spinal cord to go like this.
Somebody have access to a calculator.
Thank you, Ken. Anyway,
not even. I'm imagining like Leo with his glasses and a little sweater vest, and like his laptop. We're on a lunch table outside. Because it sounds like fucking one of those cute little college nerds, and you're like, I'm just trying to eat my burger before we have to go back to class.
At least you called me cute.
I mean,
That's a compliment.
listen, just because Sam doesn't appreciate people like that doesn't mean that there's other people that want to appreciate like cute little college nerds anyways.
Okay, so who said I didn't appreciate that? Did I not just call him cute? Who said?
By the way, I wanted to say that
shots fired. Hands down.
Whatever. Next topic.
Hand check.
I did want to say really quickly that
hole in your hand. Holes in your hands.
The amount of 15-foot whale penises that light could traverse in a second to 65,571,264.
You actually did the math. This kid, you would do some fucking.
That's a lot of dick.
I would.
That's a lot of dick. Yeah.
That's a lot of dick.
that's very specific.
It's overcompensating or something.
Now, Leo, what is it? What is it in dolphin dicks?
I don't know what the size of a dolphin dick is.
You'd have to ask Ken Hovind.
I'm not a dickologist like Kent Hovind is. Apparently, he studied
dickologist. Nice.
He's been teaching it for 15
yes,
years.
Sigma. It is correct. I did the dick math. I
mean, you call yourself a scientist without complete data, Leo. Come on,
Exactly.
what's going on?
Right.
I do. I put it in the comments.
I don't think I've ever heard somebody say I did the dick math. That's pretty good.
I have
You've been in the wrong parties, Jason.
I did the dick math.
Where do you think the phrase tallywhacker came from?
I
from Kent Hovind.
Tallywhacker?
This chat have done the dick math before.
Why is it? I can imagine Leo's the
wow. Hello. Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
The background of Leo's for his
Only
computer is the measurements of weldings.
No, you know every fifth tally has to go diagonal, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, that got strange.
Yeah. All right. So there's that.
Hands, hands.
My Lord, Kumbaya.
And excuse me,
wait,
you can
hold on.
never
Is that
get
a Darth?
awkward when you're talking about whale penises.
Is
I'll
that a
have
Darth
you know.
soundbite? That Kumbaya.
That is Darth Dawkins, yes.
Okay, it sounded like a Darth soundbite. That's what I thought it was.
How about
It sounded like he's trying to like counsel little girls. Like that just sounds really weird. I can't.
What is this
imagine.
real name?
I don't
What is
think
this real
Darth
name?
Dawkins should ever be around
Theophilus,
other girls.
you're on your way to hell. Goodbye. What
Yeah,
was that one?
I wish. No, you're good. I wish Nick was here because it was his buddy. I can't remember his name right now. That he jumped on a Discord with Darth, and it's the only person that I've personally heard get Darth completely distracted from his religious conversation, and he got him talking about
Really?
sausage rolls, and like for like a half hour, almost 45 minutes, just talking about sausage rolls and breakfast. Like got him completely off his game, right? And then at the end, somebody was like, Darth, what are you doing? Like, what are you even talking about? What are you guys talking about? Like, and one of his little minions was like trying to get him like back on his game. And he was like, no,
Back on
this is
script.
an atheist. This is an atheist. And we don't agree on God. But the one thing that we agree on is good breakfast food and sausage rolls. And as soon as he said that, he goes in there, Kumbaya.
Oh shit! That's too fucking. Somebody needs to find me that video, or so I need that whole last.
Was that
clip.
from Nick?
Need to see that.
No, it wasn't Nick. It was one of Nick's friends. I can't remember his name right now.
Oh yeah, it was Christopher Mott.
Yeah. Yep.
What about the Mr. Batman one? You're on your way to hell.
Oh, you want that one here?
Yeah.
And if I would continue, it would be casting my pearls before swine, and I'm not going to do that. Have a nice day, sir. Repent or perish, you're on your way to hell. Next.
Next. Repent or perish, you're on your way to hell.
Like he's at McDonald's. Next.
You're on your way to hell too.
Why'd you have to say that? I want a fucking Big Mac right now.
Well, you still on your way to hell, sir? Sir?
I'll eat my Big Mac in hell, sir.
Sir?
With the law of identity, sir.
A logical, loving lawgiver God, sir? Sir?
And this is me being completely selfish and anecdotal right now, but this is my favorite because I've had 5 interactions with Darth, and I say I'm 5-0 because I've caused him to rage quit every single time within a very short amount of time. And this last time, this is what
Darthy.
What's that?
You talking about Darthy?
Yeah, little Darthy boy. Yeah.
Hold on a second. Is his screen name really Darth Dawkins, or is it?
Yes,
it's Darth Dawkins or
Duncan. Is this the same Richard Dawkins or no?
No.
Yeah, it's Richard Dawkins. Yep.
It's a parody.
It's basically he's just taking the exact opposite and being like, "Oh, get it? I'm obsessed with Richard Dawkins."
The only similarity between Darth Dawkins and Richard Dawkins is both of them have a very, very poor understanding of philosophy.
That's true.
Ooh, shots fired.
What did he say, Oz? Your Pat something?
So yeah, I got him back to back because he did them back to back, but I have them on 2 different buttons because he just went like machine gun on me because he was in a room where he wasn't modding. So he was just trying to yell and shout.
You bastard.
So this is the first one.
Here, this guy is a pathological
liar.
and then literally as he hangs up,
He's a lying scumbag.
and then he dipped.
Oh, Darth.
That was with John Maddox. Yeah, that was with John Maddox.
Yeah,
Little Quantum John.
No surprise.
Little quantum PP.
Little PP.
Little quantum PP.
You can just say quantum PP. That says everything right there.
LPP. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Anyway, no, if you want to see, if you do want to see some Darth Gold, if you go to Tom Rabbit's channel, if you look for
Tom Rabbit's doing a recording. Hey, Tom
Rabbit. Hey,
Tom
everybody out there on
Rabbit.
YouTube. Tom Rabbit likes to record these.
That's so priceless.
I fucking love it.
But he has what's on there. It's Atheist Troll, because his call-in show is called Atheist Troll Live on Tang, and it's just Jeff. That's his screen name. But he Darth has called in to his show, I think two or three times, and the first time is absolutely like amazing entertainment, because just Jeff didn't even know who he was at that time, and didn't know that it was Darth, and not even knowing who he was, trolled the fuck out of Darth, trolled the fuck out of him, and it was gold.
Where can we find it? Is it labeled Darth Dawkins?
If you go to Tom Rabbit, I would put, or just go to YouTube and put Darth Dawkins versus Atheist Troll.
Okay.
Oh, it's gold. And then there's a round two. There's a round two, and he claims, so on the first one he claims that he didn't hang up, but if you understand Google Voice and how it works, you know he's lying. You know he's lying that he's
a pathological liar.
Yeah. He's absolutely.
This guy is a pathological liar.
But so he claimed he didn't do that.
Yes.
We got this for your recording. Hey,
It's gold. It's gold.
And I love the Star Wars theme with the flute.
And then he calls back in. He calls back in the second time, or no, Jeff caught him on a Discord. That's what it was, on one of the Discord channels that he was on, and Darth starts talking about the first interaction, and he's like, "Last time I talked to you hung up on me, or yada yada whatever." And Jeff,
previously on the last episode,
Jeff was like, "Darth, that shit was like 4 months ago. Are you still hung up on that?" like you act like an old boyfriend or girlfriend that's still like super jealous. It was awesome.
Oh, I was hoping his people would come on last night, but they didn't hang around.
Yeah, his people keep on coming onto our channel and like giving like a single line, like, "Hey, when are we going to be able to bring it on?"
Amy, you're over talking me. Please don't over talk me. So you haven't answered my question. In your worldview, what is it that is metaphysically primary and that which grounds all facts and all possibility and impossibility?
Leo, have you ever been diagnosed with ADHD?
And then whenever you say something, say no.
I have actually,
no.
Yes.
That's what Amy said.
I had
That's what I said.
And a big thank you to Aunt Jer. She just put the links for the Atheist Troll experience.
Oh, thank you, Aunt Jer.
With the this is the other part. I forgot about this. So within our the ones that are part of Tart was Tart, now Tang. It's been just Jeff.
Tang.
Weasley, the Weasley face troll is what we've always called him, right? The Weasley face troll. And Tom Rabbit catches it like when he's back in the lair, with all his little minions. He refers to Jeff as the Weasley face troll. And I was like, oh, that's fucking awesome.
So you guys changed Tart to Tang now?
No, the very brief explanation is Tart's still there. So Tang is the Atheist Network group. So we started a network of atheist content. So there's at least one show 7 days a week, and then Tart is Friday, Saturday. That's still the flagship show.
Oh, okay, awesome. Because I was going to say, if you went from tart to tang, what's next? Taint?
Yeah, tarned.
Oh, you went there.
I'm trying to make up all the acronyms that tang, tart, sour.
Yeah, all the mouth puckering
Smoky.
taste,
Exactly. Yes.
all the mouth puckering stuff.
Yep. Everything that makes the mouth pucker.
Wow, hello.
Liquid smoke.
Yeah.
I was gonna say they're just lip pleasers. Every time that I take the 1 or 2 seconds that I say, should I say the joke? Everyone's like, "Hi." I'm like, okay, I should definitely just make the joke.
Yeah, always.
Do-
Always make
do
the
it.
joke, Amy. Always.
All right. But that was it though. Let's see. I think I only had one last note, really.
Make it something good.
Tell me
Something silly.
good.
Yeah, take my word for it. Oh yeah, it was like Kent said he can't see it being any other way but Adam and Eve. Like he's like, I can't.
Argument from incredulity.
What else is there?
It
I was
doesn't
like-
matter how you see it.
I can't see it or I can't fathom it, therefore it must not be the case. Textbook argument from incredulity.
Just
Well,
because you
not
can't
for
doesn't
me,
mean
because
it's not possible.
you see the Bible says it's Adam and Eve, so there you go.
Well, I just can't believe that you would think that a dog is related to a mosquito.
God said it 17 times in the beginning, and Jesus said in the beginning was Adam. That was the beginning. You calling Jesus a liar?
Water.
Where's Dr. Josh?
With water?
We do need Dr.
I just don't want my tax dollars going to teach your religion in schools.
Yeah, that was another point. He made at least a single line about the tax shtick.
Yeah,
he likes to just
my tax dollars, Amy.
He went to prison for
every time I'm like, oh, Hovey, do we really want to talk about taxes? Is that what we want to do?
Do we really want to go?
Yeah, no joke.
I paid every tax I owe.
You call him Hovey?
Hovey.
You have to call him
Or like Hova, like Jay-Z. Call him
Jay-Z,
Jehovah.
H to the is O, V to the is A.
Oh, Hovey is a play on Hov, absolutely.
Ho.
And okay, actually, I have one more point that I would rather end on. It's that we have been basically imitating Kent for so long that the moment Kent started talking, I started laughing. I know that is sad, but like he's become a stereotype of himself. I'm at the point where I'm like looking at Kent and I'm like, that's a good.
He's
Kent
a caricature of
impression.
himself.
Yeah.
You're like, where's Dr. Josh?
Exactly.
Where's the real Ken Hovind?
The real Ken.
Yep.
Dr. Josh.
I told Dr. Josh the next time he's on, even if it'll be even better if it's a very serious topic that we're doing on the show, is to have him open up the show. Like none of us are on there. It just opens with him, and he does his Hovey impersonation, and he's like, we actually tax free bought Tart and Tang. And we're now merging it with the ARC project, and we love to see these things evolve, and then cut it to
Evolution's false. Evolution's false.
Jesus sponsored by Tart and Tang.
I do want to know where he buys all this.
Jeebus.
It's
Buy your
funny that
bibble.
Tang's mascot was chimpanzees.
Well, we don't come from chimpanzees, but
Sharks would be a better mascot.
You called my ancestors, or you called my father a chimpanzee? How are you doing?
You're saying we came from monkeys? Nope, it's not what we're saying, buddy.
Amy, are you related to a tomato and a mosquito?
I mean, if you really think that all life came from rock soup.
What about an albino?
Is that Grandpa, Amy? Is that your grandpa?
Grandpa.
What's the genetic code of a rock, Amy?
Nice to meet you, Grandpa.
What's the genetic code of a rock?
I know.
Well, hey, rocks are atheists. Remember that.
There you go. The atheist rock.
Well, they're lactheists. They're not atheists because they don't believe there's no God.
That's their new
They just
favorite
don't
word.
have a belief.
God damn it.
They're like YouTube. They're like YouTube atheists.
Oh, did you guys?
What about YouTube
What I
Christian?
love to do when someone asks
YouTube
me a
Christian,
loaded
yeah.
question is give them the answer they don't want to hear. Like, are you saying that XYZ is some like ridiculous ass claim? And just look them in the eye and be like, yeah, and just watch them like take a double take or something like that.
Well,
Are you calling me a liar? Yeah.
Well, that's any logical question from Christianity. So,
Just
By the way,
whenever
it would be
someone
like
asks you loaded questions, I love doing that shit.
it would be like saying the term "girl dick" to Ken Hovind and just watching the horror on his face, just watching the blood just roll from his cheeks.
It's biblical. Girl dick's biblical, probably.
girl dick. Yeah. So awesome.
But you know, if you have girl dick, you gotta have boy cunt too.
Yes. Wow.
Girls don't
Yeah, yeah.
This Bible's getting hotter by the moment.
I'm telling you. Amy just got demonetized.
We got to get monetized before we get
FBI.
demonetized.
Well, that's
Come
true.
on.
That's true.
Hey, James, thanks for breaking down like very simple logic for Bird. I
Oh,
appreciate
well, of course.
Thanks. I really need it. I don't.
I mean, it's not like we're one of the Duggars, those God-fearing people. So, yeah.
Wait, aren't they the Mormons?
No, they're not Mormons. They're fundamentalists.
I think they're fundamentalist Baptists, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah.
But they're like still polytheist, right?
Polytheist? No.
Christians
90 kids and counting, or whatever number they got up to before they canceled it.
Polygamous.
They're not polygamous. No. That's
They live in
sister
Arkansas.
wives.
No, it's the exact name of it is Quiverful. Quiverful.
The Quiverful movement. Yeah.
Yeah, it's based on the Bible passage about let your quiver be
A full quiver of arrows. Yeah.
about kids, and then they have a particular acronym. It sounds nothing like TAR or TANG. It's a little longer and doesn't make any sense. The acronym that's
RAPE. Yeah.
it's like IRMAANA. It's like long. It's like I can't remember that shit. Like what?
Well, the thing is, when you use biblical medicine, you better have a bunch of kids because most of them are not going to survive to adulthood. So you got to have like 20 of them. Maybe 2 or 3 of them will make it.
Yeah, their
Like
acronym
tadpoles.
is MOLEST. Yeah, great.
That's part of it, but only for Jesus.
Yeah, exactly.
And okay, guys, I think it's that time.
Like Amaretto said, incest is wincest in the Bible.
Wow.
In the Bible.
Game of Thrones in it.
Yeah.
Oh, U.S. What does that spell?
8 people got off the ark. You guys do the math. How's that going to work?
Incest is blessed.
INCEST. Find out what that means to me.
Oh, wow.
And thank you again, Aunt. You're always there with the backup. NIFB. That's what it was.
NIFBA.
Was that Independent Fundamental Baptist or whatever?
No, it was something about.
I think it's like New Independent Fundamentalist Baptists or something like that.
Oh, I thought
What
it
is
was
that
the
noise?
diner I ate at.
What's
That's
that
Darth
noise? Y'all hear
Dawkins.
that?
That's
Oh,
not
that was the whale. That was the whale behind me.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Oh my!
Kent was measuring
hotter by
his.
the second.
Kent was had a
It
tape
was the
measure.
whale. I speak whale.
Well, since Oz is in the water, we could give him a tape measure
It's
there.
funny
He could
you
do some
say
research
that.
for Kent.
Because I speak whale penis. It's actually very similar.
Wow.
Yeah,
What did I
can
feel like we
speak
just
whale
entered
and I can do whale dick math too. So
What do I feel like we just entered an adult version of Nemo?
Yeah. We entered something, all right.
Can you imagine what Ellen DeGeneres would do in an adult version of Nemo?
No thanks. I'm
I love
good.
Elle. She's awesome.
I do daily, Sam. I do daily.
Yeah.
Free Willy's balls.
Is this going to be our
Like,
next
you wouldn't-
contestant,
you-
Amy?
She would not remember anything.
We
either.
are Midnight Ranting on
Can I
whale
put you in
penises.
clownfish body paint?
Yes. Go
I
on.
think I saw that porn. All
You
right.
caught
and-
my attention.
Go ahead, Cassie. What was your question? I'm listening.
I heard catfish paint.
I heard dressing up like clownfish and porn.
Yes, I'm in. Let's do it. How much?
Sold.
Sounds like a plan. Next Saturday.
And with that,
I've got
bring it.
$250. Who's ready? $250.
We have 50. We have 100. Do we hear 250? Do we have 300? And
300.
sold.
To Sunflower.
Amaretto was about to say, if it's gay, she's in.
She's
Sold to Sunflower.
Oh,
And
hello.
Gay all the way.
And Pat is looking at the camera like, what the fuck did I get into tonight?
I was
this
like
the right
studying, trying to write and stay out of getting on YouTube tonight. I was like, I'm just going to be a good spectator. And then I said, hey, maybe I can hang out and chat in the back room. And then Amy's like, you're on the show. So
I came here and talk about the age of the
You
universe.
go from green room to show it's in like 0.6 seconds.
And Pat, speaking of
whale penises.
wonderful topics like the age of the universe and whale penises, I hope you had a fantastic night tonight.
I did.
And what are your final thoughts?
Again, I enjoy the show. I enjoy the dialogue. Just happy to be here. My mountain of evidence argument still holds. I'm tired of hearing people who don't understand the science try to critique it, and it gets pretty boring after a while. But I guess we need to continue until literacy in science is increased, and as long as people like Leo are willing to do the mathematical equations, so I don't have to. That's great.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
I did the
thank
dick math.
you so very much, Pat.
Yes, I did. I did the dick math.
So you weren't convinced you're not a flat earther tonight?
Resident dick mathematician right here.
That's your new
I'm
social
just going to draw Leo's persona just saying that now.
He is the certified judge of every measuring contest from here on out.
Wow, okay.
OCUS. What does that spell?
Leo is a phallus magician.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Do you know that by experience?
There's more than one reason for big dick energy.
Yes, there is.
Nice.
But
you just gave me a fantastic transition. Speaking
my
of
current research is the emission of big dick energy and its quantization. That's my current research.
Okay.
Woo-hoo.
That's dick quantum physics, though.
I feel like
PhD in big dick energy.
shove the word dick as many times into the stream as we can. It just dicks.
And we're talking about anyone named Richard, by the way.
Anyone named Richard.
Be a great topic for next time.
But Oz, we got a shark in the
Even
water.
Richard Dawkins.
Yep, Dick Dawkins.
There was only a little bit of blood tonight, but I hope you
wow.
had fun. And
at least you can get pregnant anyway.
or at least I can keep trying. I hope you had
all
fun.
this big dick energy.
Where can people find you, and what are your final thoughts?
In hell, for sure.
Woo-hoo.
Well, that was a perfect transition. Just saying.
Oh my.
No, but as always, good hanging out with you guys, and I absolutely love Pat's face. The last half hour of this stream was absolutely puzzled on why he was still here. I could see it in his eyes, and that was entertaining just in and of itself. But I'm not even going to plug anything about Tang or anything like that. What I do want to say is as much shit as I've given Sunflower, and don't you worry, he's given it in return. It does show when you do find a common ground and commonality with somebody that there's usually a way you can get to a place where you have understanding. And even though I can be a troll, and I think Sunflower even say he can be a troll, you can still find that common ground. And he and I did that tonight, and it just shows on an atheist channel, you can have a theist and an atheist that have disagreed and still find a way to find the common ground and find a friendship and start at ground zero and repair, rebuild, so to speak. And who who knows? Maybe
Build back better.
Maybe we do an episode, together in the future and talk about that, because there's even Atheist Junior has messaged me. Well, he did it publicly too, but messaged me privately, and he thought I was a giant asshole. When he first met me, and I was like,
yeah, I remember.
I'm a fucking teddy bear. I'm a teddy bear. Once you get to know me, no, I'm protective and I'm passionate. But I think that just goes to show or demonstrate that it's all about communication, and put it all out there. So that's all I got to say.
But Oz, you present as a badass, right? You're a tough guy. So why are you getting all snowflakey when I make fun of people with mental illness and belittle people with disabilities? What's up with that, Oz?
Oh, so now that's going to go to a whole other topic. If you're taking shots at people with mental health issues, which strikes home with me big time, now we're talking about something completely different. So yes, LPP, I will still stand by what I said last time he was around this on this stream, and even one of ours. Fuck him until he understands the impact of religious trauma syndrome and mental health and bipolar, depression, anxiety, and doesn't just try to minimize, and act like it's not a real thing. I have zero respect for that man. None, nada.
John Maddox is a coward. Hashtag John Maddox is a grifter.
Well, thank you so very much, Oz. And hey, I think he did come on once. I think
he did.
He's always
he only came once.
To, I always understand this is considered the lion's den for the theists, but we have yet to kick or ban or mute. So
and then he got embarrassed by Jason and left. So
if he were here, he would say, "So I think I'm gonna rename button the Leophilius button because he just starts spouting this and he's not answering the question. So mute."
Yeah, probably
the Leophilius button. It was one time he did it, and he just kept on going on for like another 10 minutes. He's just talking, and John's like, he realizes he's muted, right? And he's just going on and on. It was epic.
Here, this guy is a pathological liar.
I feel like Peter's in here now.
Peter.
I take offense.
Be careful. You say his name 3 times, though we love him.
That guy is fucking hilarious. Wotan? Is that his name? Wotan something?
No, gonna go for it.
Wotan Dagon? Yeah, he's a flat earther. He's funny.
He's up there with Alex Stein. They're just like, okay,
Witzik gets it. He's like Witzik gets it, but dumber.
Man, I'd love to have a debate.
It is like they took Mountain Dew and they just decided to inject it into their veins. Like,
hey,
why?
don't drink shame, Amy. Don't drink shame.
Hey, I love Mountain Dew. Okay, where am I pointing?
If I have
I'm just saying,
Wotan was hilarious to listen
bro
to.
level, like it is like, what is it, Bruce Banner, and like. There was a scientist, and there was just like a Mountain Dew machine behind. They're like, "How much could we inject?" And they were like, "Bro."
And then Nathan Thompson popped out.
100% how it happened. I know I love Mountain Dew. Good caffeine.
Come on, Nathan.
Okay, moving along. Cassie, we have been midnight ranting on the age of the universe, some theology, apparently why the world is round, a whole bunch of good things. I hope you had fun, and what are your final thoughts?
And by the way, we should probably send a happy Mother's Day out to Cassie.
Yeah,
she is a
to
mom.
all the mothers out there.
Yes, all the mothers, but she is one, so.
But yeah, so fun times. Yeah, the Earth is not flat.
And corn does go on pizza.
Man, no, listen, not on right. No, not.
Quit.
It's too late, Cassie.
Quit pizza.
It's too late.
Quit
No.
pizza.
It's too late. They have pineapple on pizza since like what, the 80s? It's too
But
late.
pineapple goes well with pepperoni. Corn does not go
I
well
don't
with
think
pepperoni.
so. I don't think pineapple goes on pizza, but you know what? Let them do what they do.
Thank you.
Shit 'em wood on pizza. Shit 'em wood.
I was not trying to start a discussion.
Make the crust out of shitum wood. Yeah, no. So fun times. Yeah, the Earth is not flat. That can go fuck himself. As far as that, lovingly go fuck themselves.
Now I want a flat Earth pizza.
Oh my god.
You shape the cheese and like the continents and like the sea. The sauce is the sea.
Can we make a conspiracy pizza like with flat Earth
Well,
and QAnon toppings?
Actually, that would be more of a model than they actually really have. So you might be onto something, Sam.
Yeah, with stuffed breast. Or no, the cheese wall.
Oh my god, yes, it would be the cheese wall.
Or the pepperoni.
Oh my god. But yeah, no, that just really I'm very shocked that we had a flat earther on tonight. That's something I haven't seen in a very long time. And
Crazy.
I've debated him on Modern Day Debate. It's a good time.
Ross, you did?
It was more like
I
a
did too.
questionnaire because I was just so surprised, just like Cassie is right now. I was taking in that not only
stupidity,
and just how damn right serious they take it, because we joke about it all the time, and then the moment someone takes it seriously, it's like, all right, let's get Ogre and Leo in here.
what was it? I can't remember who did it, but there was somebody that did an expose or a program or something. They were at a flat Earth convention. And I just can't.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Flat Earthers all around the world.
Did you watch the one with two girls talking about if there's two suns or not?
Yeah, that was a joke. It was stupid.
2 suns, 1 cup.
That was Rose and Carissa.
Yeah.
No, but also,
I was
it's funny,
supposed to be on that one.
It's funny that Oz is talking about how intimidating he was, because I literally said last night, and several people can confirm, I was like, I can't debate Oz. He would lovingly tear me a new a-hole. So.
Well, that sounds hot. Second of all,
You gotta be gentle. You gotta be gentle.
So.
That's what happens with that big dick energy.
Oh, wow.
Listen, sounds gay. I'm in.
The one good dom in prison. That's the one you want to be his bitch.
Who
No.
wants to be my prison bitch?
I'm in. Let's do it.
Wait, so like, what's the compensation for that?
Thank you so very much.
I mean, like, if it
You
pays
get corn on your pizza. That's it. That's all you get, Leo.
And what does corn on pizza mean? What does that mean?
Well, I'm from Iowa.
I need some corn on my pizza.
I came into the chat earlier, and then people were talking about, I guess, somebody who was in here earlier, I guess it was Ogre, like saying that corn belonged on pizza, and I was just like, no, never.
No, Sunflower started that. Sunflower did.
Oh
Listen, before you know it, they're gonna put cranberries and almonds on pizza. We're just give up.
Wait, no.
I literally was like, what in the white nonsense is corn on pizza?
It's called a flatbread. They'll call it a flatbread.
Fruit belong in salad? Does fruit belong in salad?
Yes, fruit belongs in salad.
Well, if tomato
Grapes
is
go well with
technically
everything. Tomato is technically a fruit.
No,
Not
no
technically,
raisins.
It is.
No cranberries, no mandarin oranges, no strawberries.
Lies.
Yes, I do. Get out of here.
Veggie salad and
deep
fruit
questions on
salad.
this channel.
There's veggie salad and fruit salad. Okay, keep them separated. Like fucking Offspring said, gotta keep them
separated.
When I want
Bird
fruit
just
salad,
got called
I'll
out
get
in the
fruit
private
salad.
chat.
Yeah, that's true. I do have my grinder. That's right.
We knew it.
Yep, my Facebook and my grinder.
Well, you're ready to become a politician, good sir. And with that, we are going to hand it over to Jason.
That's right, I am Jason. I am in your city. You want to holler?
We are in Midnight Ranting, holler at your back, girl. At the age of the universe, among other things, some theology, debating whether the world is round, all sorts of fun stuff. I hope you had a good time.
Whale of genitalia.
Yeah.
Don't forget the whales.
You can handle all this, Jason. I promise you, buddy.
I was just thinking about what does corn on pizza mean? Like, I want some corn on my pizza.
Have me over and we'll find out.
Yeah. Hey, man.
Oh, my.
Oh, see.
Hey, man. Hey, man. I just messaged you, so you're so close to me. I can tell you've been moving around on Grindr, so I can see you. So, I don't even know where to begin. The Earth isn't flat, even though Gandalf says the Earth is flat. I don't really care what he says. And I don't really care what Ken Hovind says. I'm similar to like some of the other folks. I am tired of hearing these lame ass arguments that are non-scientific around the Earth is flat, the Earth is 6,000 years old. None of it is ever founded in any scientific basis whatsoever. It can't be. And they have to constantly refer to Bible quotes and other wacky cockamamie ideas. So I thought Avi did a great job. He's, as well as can be when Kent's reeling through his slideshow while you're talking. And I always appreciate being on this stream, Amy, and I always like talking to everybody here. So I'll just stop there.
Well, thank you, Jason. Always great to have you, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you so very much.
I love you, Jason.
I love you guys.
And you're on your way to hell.
Yeah.
Hey, aren't we all selling timeshares? And with that, Sam, we have been Midnight Ranting mostly on the age of the universe. We've also left the Twilight Zone. I hope you had a good time. And what are your final thoughts?
So, sorry about that coming in and out. I was on my laptop, but then I accidentally hit the updates and shit like that. Anyway, like I said, I don't know much about the age of the universe, and hell, I had to have Leo explain it, how I found out.
Well,
yes, and knowing is half the battle. And I just love, it's always fun coming here. And I was gonna say something, I forgot. The point is,
focus.
Yeah,
Focus,
fuck us.
Sam.
Okay.
Fuck us. Yeah, fuck me up.
Don't think about whale penis. Don't think about whale penis. No.
What do they even call the penile bone? What's the name of it in Latin? I don't even know.
FOC. What does that spell?
It's called the baculum, by the way.
That sounds familiar. Yeah.
A little too familiar.
A little curious.
It's like speculum, except something else.
No, baculum.
Anyway. Universe age. So
words are
we
hard.
have. I had something prepared for this, but I reckon because y'all are
getting hot in here.
Yeah.
You're on your way to hell too, Sam. Goodbye.
Getting hot somewhere.
That's fine. I want a cushy, soft, fluffy, wuffy, please. I don't know. The cradle of hell. Anyway, I'm on chocolate and wine, and age of the universe. Right. We know that right now. There's proof. And did they even? All right, the debate. I didn't watch it. Did they even bring out it's flat Earth again, or no?
No.
Okay, good.
Neither is a flat earther. Yeah,
That's
Kent
the
is
one thing we can't blame on Kent.
He's not a flat earther.
It's just all about whale penises and penises.
Very specifically.
Just bibbles and bibbles and bibbles. The bibble is
Bibbles
dribble.
and penis. Yeah.
The bibble is dribble. But
he circumcises him too. The whale penis.
Does he suck the blood off of it?
I don't know.
Here we go.
Hopefully no blood. Jeez.
This one.
Now an Old Testament on us, are we?
Dark.
And
on that note, thanks a lot, Sam, for joining us.
I was like, this is cool. And I was like, ooh, this got dark.
It's But thank you so much, Sam, and it's a
I
cute
don't know.
hoodie.
Someone
I like
needs
to
to
think. Are
drive
you
home
still
and
being a
she's at
security
home?
guard in that hoodie? Or are you home?
I'm home. Are you
Okay,
serious?
that would be really adorable if you're a security guard being in that hoodie.
Someone needs him to drive her home. She's literally
Excuse
in
me,
bed.
you need to behave. Rar.
Oh, that's hilarious.
You can't park there. You can't
Park there, silly.
Parish, you're on your way to hell. Next.
This isn't where I parked my car.
Okay, thank you so much.
Something's parked somewhere.
Oh my.
You need to sign in. All visitors need to sign in.
Well, when the garage door is just left unopened, stick the car on in there, you know?
Oh my.
God damn it, Leo!
I think Bert's drunk as hell.
Oh,
You just killed Bird.
oh man, y'all hit my funny bone.
Is the funny bone in your penis, or?
Yep.
It's a good combo. Speaking of good combos.
Bird has a 15-foot penis.
Don't make me do the math.
Yeah, I can go for a combo right now. Like, I'll take a number 10 with like a whale penis with some corn on the side.
Wow, that's specific.
That's right.
You gotta get
You gotta get it more specific.
You go to the drive-thru like the Flintstones. They put it on the side of your car and it tips over. This is the big ass rack of ribs. Remember that?
Just Bird. Remember, when you back it up, just drop it like it's hot.
I know, man. I know. Leo said just open up the garage.
Drop it like tap.
I mean, you got the remote in your car, don't you?
I
Hit
know,
that
man.
button before you even
Get
pull
it.
up to it. It's already open and ready to go. You just gotta fall right in, nice and smooth, like.
I get it.
Drop it like it's
Ease
hot.
it in.
Drop it like it's
Ease
hot.
it in.
And okay.
All right.
Speaking of, these transitions are fantastic. Speaking of easing it in, Rachel. We have been Midnight Ranting.
What a first time for Rachel on Midnight Ranting. Wow.
You know, with all this
all I can
space
say
talk,
is wow, right?
with all this space talk, this program has been brought to you by Astroglide.
Cool. I feel like this episode specifically is going to get me monetized. Forget the subs. I feel like it's going to magically just go right
This
to
episode has been
monetization.
brought to you by YouTube demonetization.
All right, everybody, listen.
FOCUS. What does that spell?
What does that spell, people? Fuck us here. Fuck us right away.
It spells frenulum. Frenulum.
It spells $200 an hour.
It spells fuckers. So, Amy, go ahead.
And so we're handing it off to you, Rachel. The floor is yours. We have been Midnight Ranting on the Age of the Universe. I hope you had a good time. And what are your final thoughts?
Well, my final thoughts are it was Age of the Universe and turned into a lot of topics, and I gotta say the flat earth that was fun, and the big dick theory. Oh my goodness, we'll have to have a whole rant just on that.
Have you heard Ken
That should
Hovind
be some
before, though?
merchandise right there.
Right?
Are you familiar with Ken Hovind? Are you familiar with him? That
I think
makes
she's
that
new
claim?
to Ken Hovind.
Okay, because that's one of his things that he brings up quite often. That whales have 15-foot penises. Yeah.
Loves the whale penis.
He brings up big dick energy. Have you ever? Kent talks about big dick energy. Okay.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to listen to it because I have not heard anything about big dick energy, and it definitely sounds interesting. I gotta say. So I mean, I'm gonna have to check it out.
I wonder if the energy released
renewable energy. Why don't they?
Other than that, it's been a fun conversation. It's been fun being on. It's my first time, and hope to be back again.
Woohoo! Good job.
Good to have you on.
Thank you so very much, Rachel. I will say I had one off comment in the chat where I was like, I'm just here because I had a Ken Hovind poster above my bedroom wall, and I just got super excited to see him here. Can't help it. So
Welcome. And if anything, Leo, if you follow Leo's links, he will give you a deep education.
Oh, wow.
A deep education on the size of a whale penis. So if you ever wondered of the world of whale dicks,
in a world,
Leo is your man.
The speed of
He
light
just
is
got like
roughly
10 points per
68 million
sultry.
whale dicks per hour.
That fucking voice. Oh my god.
It's like Oz knows that from experience.
I
don't
feel
even
like
know if
I need
do
to have a
movie
Cooking
about
with
huge
Oz
dicks. It's
channel
not
just
porno.
for that
I don't
voice.
know.
Jason, you're missing out. Have whale dicks.
And what's scary is we believe you.
Hey, everybody, like, smile, have fun. It's all jokes.
I love it. I think it's hilarious. You already know.
Excuse me, good sir. When we're talking about whale penis, we're being super serial. I don't want to hear.
Super cereal.
This guy is a
More cereal than your Saturday morning breakfast.
Goddamn right. Cereal and wacky races.
I like that, Cassie.
I just don't take myself that serious.
But that's okay. We love all the super serial people here, even the sharks, the lions, who I'm gonna pass it. See my transitions. Our lions
The super
here
straight.
are super strong. Well, let's not
So
push
cereal,
things.
you might get a prize.
No,
You
I heart
mentioned-
T-Jump. T-Jump, if you're watching this, I still heart this. And you don't even have to debate me. You don't even have to date me. You should still be my debate partner, though.
No, you said dictate. You wanted to dictate you.
Still
Oh,
on the big
baby.
dictator.
Oh,
I don't
wow.
know. Suck on dick.
He has a thing for, apparently, he used to have this in his profile. He needs like a little bimbo biddy. That's what he's going for, which is fine. T-Jump, go get yourself a little blonde haired and he will point this out. I'm not even doing him wrong. He'll say this if you ask him. It's like, okay, hey, I'm not kick screaming.
T-Jump needs somebody who's on the super intelligent femme who's just tired of adulting BS to empty airheaded bimbo with no responsibilities pipeline.
Hey, go get it. Go get it for you. And okay, but Leo, we have
Ross,
been.
you're a psycho.
We've been bobbing and weaving. If anything, the age of the universe was almost the more back to reality subject that we were talking about. Whew. That's what I love about flat earthers is you could just see like the atheists and the theists just realigning themselves like together, and they're like, God damn it, we have to now be on the side of the atheists. But then,
that's always a great episode. That's always a great episode in every show where the good guy and the bad guy have to team up against a greater evil.
Yes, that is basically flat eartherism. But we love you, Ross. We still love you. You're welcome anytime. But with that, passing it over, Leo, I hope you had a fun night. And where can people find you? And what are your final thoughts?
So yeah, I am Leophilius, otherwise known as Leophilus. I just stuck my link in the live chat to my YouTube channel if anybody is interested.
AKA Dick Mathematician.
Yep, there you go. See if this works. I don't know if it's going to. I don't think it'll link it. Nope. YouTube, of course, they won't link to other social media platforms. Anyway, yeah, so I do have a YouTube channel. I focus primarily on science education and science communication with an emphasis on astrophysics, cosmology, and quantum mechanics. I do also do some political stuff from a left-wing perspective. When I say left-wing, I'm talking like if you're not like into Marxian economics, you're probably not going to like most of my content. Anyway, Age of the Universe. Yeah, I actually did the rough calculation for how you get the age of the universe in this stream. So I think it's pretty safe to say that the age of the universe is roughly 13.8 billion years old, or more accurately put, the furthest back that our physics can currently take us is 13.8 billion years. This is very well established. This isn't something that's up for debate. Overturning the age of the universe would, at least at this point in time, essentially require overturning the concordance model because the age of the universe is derived from so many aspects of other parts of the concordance model that we have. So you can't really say that the universe is any older or younger than it is within a certain range without actually overturning the standard model of cosmology. And I don't think even some of the most renowned professionals who have attempted to do so can do it, let alone somebody like Kent Hovind.
Yeah. Amen, brother. Amen.
Ramen, and thank you so very much, Leo. And you can go check out Leo's channel in the link. It should still be in the comment section.
I did have one more really quick question for Pat. You said something about your review for tenure. Can I ask what it is you'll be teaching? What subject?
Well, it's a long ways away, but it'll be archaeology and history.
Ooh, fun.
And if they ever get a hold of this video, it probably won't happen.
I think you'll be all right.
No, seriously, man. Faculty, remember, faculty tenure is it's a vote. It's a vote amongst themselves. So faculty are cooler than you think. So
Randy's here. How's it going, Randy? I get to call him Randy. Yeah, you guys have to call him Randolph. I call him Randy. I get to call him Randy.
Where's Randolph? He pop in the chat.
Randy Randerson.
Thank you. And I feel bad. We're
Hey,
just
Randolph.
about
good old Randy
closing out
Dixon.
the stream, but I see Randolph's coming in, so we're actually gonna let him do an intro outro in a second. We're going to let Bird give his outro, and then we'll do Randolph's intro outro, and then James will fly us home. So, Bird, we have been Midnight Ranting on the age of the universe. We're talking about, was it round? And every once in a while, we had a good talking about a 15-foot whale penis, as you do.
As we
Like
do.
I was like that after rant.
As one does.
And so I hope you had a good time. And what are your final thoughts?
Always have a great time. Y'all make me laugh. This is amazing. That's it. I'm out.
Woohoo! Well, thank you so very much, Bird.
Bird's on his way to hell too.
Yeah.
Hey, Amy, you said something that brought a thought up in my head. Could I comment on it really, really quickly?
Absolutely.
I don't know if
18-foot whale
sunflower.
penis?
I don't know if sunflower is still in the side chat, but it was also a question he asked as to like essentially the shape of the universe. The universe doesn't have a shape in the sense of like an object having the shape, mainly because the universe. To call the universe an object is that, if philosophically speaking, that would have some problems. We don't talk about the shape of the universe. What we talk about is the geometry of space, and space-time's geometry is flat. And what this means is that if you could draw a triangle and then like blow it up so that like each side of that triangle was hundreds of millions of light years, the angles would still add up to 180 degrees, or at least extraordinarily close to 180 degrees. So space-time doesn't have a shape in the sense that we would normally think of a shape. It has more of a geometry in terms of how are things structured inside of this, and according to that, space-time is flat, where we can say that a sufficiently large triangle's angles will still add up to 180 degrees.
There you go.
Dude, you must just score chicks in a TED Talk. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, yeah.
Never been to a TED Talk, unfortunately.
You should
maybe one day have like a TEDx. You can make your own. Bring it to you. Okay.
Don't worry, Nephilim Free owned him in the debate.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
What about Nephi?
I said he owned you, but I was just fucking around.
Oh no! I didn't hear what you said. I heard you mention
you and Amy both have had the pleasure of crossing swords with Nephi.
Well, the thing is, I've known Nephi since 2015. I've known Nephi since 2015 because I've known him from Pal Talk. Some of you guys might be familiar with that. But yeah, that debate I had with him. The thing is, there was like two different statements he made that were concessions to the point that I was making that directly vitiated his entire argument. And I pointed it out to him, and it's just like silence for like 3 seconds. He just doesn't know what to say. Oh, Neffy. I love
Kinda
Neffy.
like
I
him.
love picking on him. I really do.
I
Poor
got a
Neffy.
surprising answer out of Neff, which was just I was pushing the whole
Oh, the end of the
why
world.
not them not having the fear of death is one of the bad things that I think religion gives. And I pushed Neff a little bit on it, and he was like, end times? What end times? There aren't going to be end times. It's like, you are a fuddy.
That's
Like-
going to be
like, that's
a
your
couple
shtick.
100 years from now. No, we're not in the end times. 200-300 years from now, maybe.
It would be like Kent saying that he didn't believe the Earth was 6,000. I don't know. It's just weird to see someone who I
That
thought that
Jesus
was your
isn't coming
shtick.
back.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
he's coming something.
Oh, baby.
He's coming somewhere.
Jesus rides
Oh
whales.
my God! I really, once again, I only half apologize. But speaking of Jesus coming, Randolph, we have been Midnight Ranting.
Watch
Great
out,
intro.
everybody.
On the
It's
edge
Canadian
of the
Jesus.
universe.
Canadian Jesus.
Well, I Um, think if you're going to do your own TED, you call it TED A for Amy, and then that way it'll always be first in the lists that sort everything alphabetically.
Hey.
TED B, I'm TED okay. C. And we can. Our first lecture could be a 15-foot whale.
A
penises.
15-foot
It'll go
dicks.
great.
Yeah.
Leo can give his dick math. It'll be
You
the
missed
first
all
one.
the dick math earlier, Randolph. You missed it, man.
This sounds like a polarizing conversation.
It was quite amazing.
You see what he did there? He actually made that was a joke.
Polarizing.
Thank you, Randolph.
It's very appropriate, though,
I knew you'd pick
for a
that
Hovind debate.
I knew you'd grab onto that one, Amy.
We're grabbing onto something, all right.
So, Age of the Universe.
Twist his dick.
Grab
his dick and twist it.
Randolph is the godfather of atheism. Not God the Father, but the Godfather.
And so, Age of the Universe, Randolph. Well- What are your thoughts? Well, Age of the Universe, I think of the universe as a portion of the cosmos. The cosmos being absolutely everything, and what I think is unknown is whether the universe has as much of a history as the cosmos, or even if it is the entire size of the cosmos, or it's less than the cosmos. Those I don't know the answers to, but those are things I've wondered about. But earlier what intrigued me is there was some conversation about the shape, and I agree with Leophilius about it being more geometric. And I was kind of teasing in the chat, saying when he called it flat, I'm thinking, calling a universe flat is going to encourage the flat earthers. I'm sure of it. We got to be very careful about
cryptic language with them.
Oh, you missed one tonight, Randolph. You missed one. We had one on here.
Oh, that's okay. I don't roll with the flat earthers. So
it was interesting.
So
you don't roll around with the flat earthers.
There's somebody else grabbed onto that. Okay. So as far as the shape goes, I am in for decades now. I've been working slowly as I have spare time for it on a science fiction / science fantasy story that gets out into space and the universe and getting into some other universes. And there's an alien species that has more than 2 million years of technological advancement in this story. And there's a conversation, some dialogue that goes on, and they're answering some questions about the universe. And the shape of the universe comes up. And they're wondering if it's spherical or if it's kind of oblate spheroid or what kind of shape it is. And because of
phallic shaped.
Well, because of something I heard Dr. Richard Carrier talking about recently, with Hawking and Penrose revising their theorem about the Big Bang to because quantum physics makes it so that it's not coming from a singularity, but multiple Big Bangs effectively occurred, is their idea. So I'm thinking, I took that and I said, all right, this alien is going to talk about the universe in my story being the shape of a lumpy potato.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah. So,
Funny thing
I'm
is,
still working out the
universe-
dialogue on this.
The universe was probably quote unquote lumpy, where there would have been discrepancies in its curvature prior to the inflationary epoch. While this hasn't been confirmed, this is very, very likely, and the flatness, so to speak, of space-time is likely a result of the process of inflation.
Yeah, thank you, Leo Phillips.
Excuse me.
I'm so glad that I didn't get this wrong.
Exactly. So just to kind of put an intuitive picture of that in your head, you can imagine a sheet that's all like bunched up and wrinkly and everything, and then imagine it just stretching out flat almost instantly.
Okay. Like the ghosts, like the ghosts on the Scooby-Doo cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What did Darth Dawkins have to say about Randolph Oz?
Oh, he mispronounced my name. He said retarded.
Does he have that sound ready? I thought he had the sound ready.
Oh, you thought somebody was going to come up on the soundboard.
I have a few recorded sounds of him, but I don't have a soundboard application or anything.
I thought Oz was still on. Maybe he didn't hear.
Oh, does he have a collection of?
He does.
He does.
He's got it like Peter does. He's got a bunch of.
So, Leo, do you consider that it would not be impossible for our cosmos to be eternal?
I don't think that's wrong. In fact, I would say that that's the case. What I would say is that I wouldn't. This is just purely semantics here. So
yeah.
Not a correction or anything, but I personally wouldn't use the term eternal, mainly because
I'm struggling for the right term, so please correct.
Yeah. Well, it's mainly because with religious people, the word eternal has connotations that I would prefer not to imply. What I would state is that space-time is tenseless, whereby concepts like so what we can say is that if you could look at the universe entropically, you would notice something different in two different directions through the dimension of time. And again, that's just the arrow of time, so to speak, as a result of entropy. And in one of those directions, and in one of those directions, at least with what we know now, that space-time seems to terminate. I do personally believe that that space-time cannot be extended indefinitely in the past, though I fully admit that I could very well be wrong on that, and I wouldn't be surprised if I am. But currently, I think that there probably is an absolute earliest moment to the whole of reality. But to call that a beginning is really subjective because it depends on our temporal experience. If you took it from the perspective of the whole universe, the term beginning means nothing. And this is mainly because time is tenseless. What we call past, present, and future, and this sort of experience of time flowing around us is merely an illusion of our consciousness. This is not
I agree with this.
something and the thing is that physics has thoroughly demonstrated this. Time is tenseless. And because of this, you could say that even if the universe is sort of definitively bounded at one end, that whole entire four-dimensional space-time block it's there. It just exists, and it has. There's never been a moment, I guess you could say, where it hasn't existed. As Carl Sagan once famously said, the universe just is, and that's all.
He also said that if you want to create an apple pie from scratch,
you need to create a universe.
Thank you for finishing that.
He was correct. I love that one.
I love it so much. Yeah. So there we go. I think Amy, I guess you're expecting me to say some more since I'm so No,
whenever you're ready.
You're good, Randolph. We appreciate you coming on, man.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much for bringing me in.
Hell yeah, Avi. That's what it is. And just really quickly, you would be hard pressed.
We'll be hard, all right.
Find
hard as a whale dick.
to find a physicist that accepts the A theory of time. It's not quite as large of a consensus, but it is still a consensus amongst philosophers, primarily philosophers of physics and metaphysicians, that time is tenseless as well.
So the way so tenseless, I guess what you're saying is that time is not really something that we traverse like the three physical dimensions.
The way to put it is
it's just something we observe. It's a passage of time, and we're able to make predictions because there's certain things like cesium atoms that are predictable. And
the funny thing is that it's actually more accurate to say that it does behave more like the three traditional dimensions of space, because, and the reason why, but I get what you're getting at there.
Okay.
The thing that I think you were getting at is that humans tend to view time as this thing that sort of moves around us, or that we like move within it from the past into the present and then into the future, or from the past into the future, and the sort of the line of demarcation between them is what we call the present.
Science
it's not
fiction
entirely
has a lot of fun with
true.
time travel. I'm
For
not a big fan of time travel in science fiction, but I know a lot of people get right into it.
It really
You know, it's
bothers
funny
me
you
mainly
say
because
that.
it's not something that's physically possible.
We can
I'm
go in
not
the
a fan of
future.
time travel, but in the future, I am.
We can go in the future. That's not disputed.
Well,
Into the future
it's
every
not
moment
that it's not that we can move to different moments of time. It's that we can experience time. Well, not experience it, but time
The
can
passage of
behave differently for us.
That's what. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Depending on what's happening. But the thing
And
is,
where we're
that
at.
what I wanted to get at is that time is actually much more like the other three dimensions of space. So the way the way the worded is under the tenseless view of time, which is essentially not really even essentially, just it is the standard view, is that 1932 exists. Now it doesn't still exist, because the word still has particular connotations that imply that the events of 1932 have existed in time up to the present moment, which isn't
Continuity and ongoing.
Exactly. 1932 exists. It doesn't exist right now, but it exists somewhere in time. Likewise, none of us are, at least I presume, in Berlin in Germany right now. But Berlin still exists. It doesn't exist right here, but it still exists somewhere in space. It's the same basic thing with time. Just because you're not in that particular moment of time to be experiencing what's happening in it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And we tend to view time that way because of how we experience it. But it's much like the dimensions of space, where you can have two things separated by vast distances in space, and they still, I should say still, they both exist in space-time, no different than one another. Same thing with something in particularly time. Things can be separated by vast distances of time. They exist in space-time, no different from one another.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of sort of how I see it too. And one of the many problems I have with time travel, the way it's expressed in science fiction in particular.
Hey, Will, just a quick shout out to Will in chat.
Hello, Will. Good to see you again. Is that if we were able to suddenly materialize at a future moment or a past moment, will the Earth still be there? The whole galaxy is moving.
Yeah, if it was in the same exact location in space-time rather than same exact location on Earth, if I were to wait 10 minutes, the Earth would be several, probably 1,000 miles in front of me. I would not be there because the Earth has moved in that amount of time. So
The solar system's moving, the galaxy's moving, the universe is moving.
The galaxy cluster's moving. Yeah, we don't know.
And you saying that, I just seen a study on time saying present and future are simultaneous.
I don't know what that would mean. Mainly because in special relativity, the concept of simultaneity makes no sense. No two events are absolutely or perfectly simultaneous with one another.
Maybe it's quantum time.
The thing is, quantum time doesn't really mean anything, because time is probably see, this is the interesting thing about the quantum realm, is that space is not a factor. Space isn't something that we think about when we look at the equations in quantum mechanics, but time is a factor there. And time is not something that the events happen in, it's a property of the things that we're speaking about. So time would be a property that an electron has, no different than its mass. So time takes on an entirely different ontology when we get to the quantum level of reality. In space isn't entirely a concept there, and this is where the ideas of things like emergent space-time and what have you come from.
Theo,
now,
Leo,
Brian
thank you for, like, just fucking up the best movie plot devices from my childhood, and now I have to go reevaluate.
I gotta go reevaluate my life.
I just want to read up Brian Stevens' question that just disappeared.
Yeah.
It says, Brian Stevens writes, Amy Newman, question for Leophilius: why are things so heavy in the future? Is there a problem with the Earth's gravitational pull?
I'm assuming there's a joke there, and if there is, I'm sorry, I don't see
Tide
it.
goes in, tide
Probably
goes out.
It's probably
I don't
because
see it.
the Asperger's. Sometimes I just don't catch on the joke.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's times I don't catch on the jokes. Like I just don't see.
I have the same problem. You know what I do? I just answer it literally.
That's all you can do, and a lot of times that's even funnier.
Yeah, that's why I do it. Yeah.
I couldn't answer it literally. I'd have to ask him like, what do you mean by what you say?
Amy, have you ever been diagnosed with ADD?
Are you diagnosed with ADD?
Yes. Oh. Okay.
Focus. I keep on wanting to give on.
F.
I love you, Angelo.
C-U-S.
But James, we have been midnight
time.
ranting.
Have we?
Mostly on the age of the universe.
Have we?
Every once in a while, we have to confirm: is it round? It's round. Okay.
It's still round.
Can we double check on that one? It's still round. Good. Awesome.
Double check on aisle 3 if the planet is round.
Aisle 15. More.
Let me speak to your supervisor. Yeah. Your supervisor. Is it still round? Yeah.
Yep, still round.
Well, Nathan Thompson doesn't think so, but I don't know. So anyway, yeah, wow. What a fun discussion we had tonight. We talked about the age of the universe, age of the Earth, Ken Hovind, the shape of the Earth, some issue with some whales, and time of all things.
I could talk about time for hours. Don't get me started.
Oh, well, don't worry. We will. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. Thanks, everybody, for coming on tonight, guys. Thank you all for coming.
It felt so good.
I thought you would appreciate that, Bird. And take us out, Amy. Do it to us.
My
Amy.
body is ready.
Amy, I have a question.
Oh boy.
So Will must not have been here.
$300.
Will must not have been here when I answered the question, but he said, "Is the universe round?" #flat universe. No, the universe is flat. But flat does not mean flat as in like what you would think
pancake
as a piece of paper. It means that like so. And this is the example I gave earlier. If you were to take a triangle, you could make it arbitrarily large. Its angles will still add up to, or at least get extraordinarily close to 180 degrees. So we don't talk about the shape of the universe so much as we talk about the geometry of space-time,
which is flat. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Woo-hoo.
Praise God. Praise Leophilius.
Everyone, and praise Leophilia.
Do not praise me. If you're going to do anything, donate to Amelia Clark's charity, Same You, for brain injury recovery.
Oh,
now that is a good cause. Yes,
an actual good cause.
That's also my future wife.
We're going to praise the Dick mathematician.
I just wanted to say Leo's got good.
Leophilius has good taste in future girlfriends.
Future wives?
Oh, future wives.
A dick
I got to start with the girlfriend phase first.
Sister wives.
Arithmetic. That's it right.
Thank you, Skywatcher. Appreciate everybody in chat. Yeah, amazing.
I hope you all had a fun time on this episode of Midnight Ranting, Age of the Universe, where we had a talk about the age of the universe and a discussion on the age-old battle of science versus religion. I want to thank James W., Modern Day Debate, with our guest hosts, Bird, Leophilius, Ogre, Rachel, Nick, Sam, Jason, Ross, Cassie, Mark, Oz, Pat, and Randolph, along with all the lovely people in chat and our awesome mods who make this stream so great. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that all button icon so you can be part of our live streams for YouTube, Facebook, or follow on Twitch. And if
check out our Discord.
Check out our Discord. And if you'd like to help us make more fun content, feel free to check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Amy Newman. I'm Amy Newman. I'll see you all on the next episode of Skeptical.
On my VHS tapes.
Well, penis is 15.
And remember, science doesn't have all of the answers, but religion.
Settle down, Bird. Settle down. Yeah. Settle down, Bird.